Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 50-50 Take It or Leave It podcast. And in today's episode, it is a D&D extravaganza. We go over the one-shot, all of our cool characters.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
All of the fun stuff that happened. It ended interestingly, and that's for sure.
You gotta listen.
Yeah, it did. And we go into the session. A banger.
Oh, yeah.
All
Absolute
bangers.
all bangers. All day, every day.
Back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get into it. All right, well, I guess getting into our one-shot, who wants to start it off? General thoughts? How'd you guys think it went?
I thought it was pretty good.
The fact that we stayed up till 5 a.m. playing D&D was pretty baller.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun being back in the player seat again.
I was going to say, how
Yeah.
long's that been?
Yeah, a couple of years.
A couple of years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite a refreshing experience with any one shot that I've done, whether it was yours, Matt, or Braden's recently. It's always nice to go from, this brooding character like Oberyn to somebody who is more like with Kairos. It was like, yeah, I'm a southern twang sounding real like southerner boy with a gun.
Yeah.
And then with 9, it's the super uppity,
I
oblivious.
got big Baymax vibes.
Yeah. So like, one of my highlights that I thought was pretty funny was when I believe it was Daniel's character. He started like counting down something, and then 9 would also like start to count down too.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the character that I wanted to go for, was that he was, and I went in, and when I talked about like my introduction for him too, he was just a guy, or I guess a robot, who was gained sentience, wanted to find out what it meant to be human, so he, tried to copy like different aspects of people, but he's still socially inept, so he doesn't exactly get it fully. And that's kind of, and so, what a better way to get to know people than to hunt them down as an urban bounty hunter, and
Yeah.
Makes sense.
most of the time the targets come back dead, but that's
Hey,
not his
it's
fault.
part of the job.
Part of-
Mitch, what did you think?
I thought it went really well. I enjoy any one shot just because I get to mix it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I still love playing Zion by far. I think I understand him the most and play him really well. The problem is that's a reverse problem though, because I don't know how to play one shot characters because
Did you go for like a Michael Jackson voice? He did, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. It was very like reserved and like, hey guys. What's going on?
oh yeah, Vin, yes, yeah.
So what was the inspiration for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I heard that voice and I was like,
I think me and Kyle both like looked at each other and then looked at you and then started laughing.
this guy's supposed to be an assassin for Tiamat, and he's walking around. Hey guys, how you doing?
Well, that's the thing. That's what makes it so beautiful. People wouldn't expect a soft-spoken, and he spent most of his life being looked down upon because he was a tiefling living in a
human
world and
Yeah.
like bane of existence and blah blah blah. You're the devil. Blah 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 blah.
right.
Always looked down upon. Always scoffed at. Always made fun of. Always.
Just like Michael Jackson.
Just-
No,
Oh.
just kidding.
Oh my god.
No, so he's just very reserved and quiet. And anytime he would speak up, he was always slapped or beaten or whatever. I mean, you can paint the picture.
That's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot for a one-shot character.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
Damn,
But hey,
that's
man,
awesome.
I'd rather have that. Like,
yeah,
layer
he's
in there.
just very soft spoken. Now, what he does speaks volumes to what he actually says. So
Yeah.
he can kill you, which is a flick of a knife.
Yeah.
And he praises Tiamat. So, and Tiamat kind of like gives him that voice, or tries.
Through death.
Well,
For
yeah,
Tiamat, yes.
yeah, pretty
For
much.
Tiamat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. But
So yeah, I guess.
I liked the highlight for the session for me was at the beginning.
Yeah. It was fun seeing everybody's characters.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
He means what happens
not
a
the
little
beginning.
later.
The beginning.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to describe that, or you want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
You tell
Oh wait,
the
we didn't
story.
even get Matt's initial.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Opinion.
That's
of
how much I
the-
love that. But yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, we
What's
gotta hear
your
what you gotta
thoughts?
say,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was a lot of fun being a character again. It was nice to play James.
Yeah,
He
I
was
liked them.
He was refreshing
Mm-hmm.
to be. He was a billionaire, and then he got really bored with his time, and he bought a whole bunch of like antiquities from this island nation.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
some adventurers were like, dude, you can't just buy up all the culture from this place. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that, because I was a billionaire that had any effect on people.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, dude, stop it.
It's evil.
Yeah, and then the rogue was like, you could be a villain, man. And he's like, oh, a what? And he's like, yeah, a villain, bro. You have an island house. Like, you see all the security around here? Like, yeah, dude, if you want to be a villain, you could. And then he decided in his free time, he's going to become a supervillain.
Yeah.
And that was the basis for my character.
I
awesome.
thought it was really nice. I thought it was cool that you had a posse of undead.
Yeah.
Like you had your two homies, and then
Jeffrey and Gregory, the
yeah.
skeletons.
Yeah, two skeletons.
You and Brayden would do this like clackety clack sound. I thought every time you guys would do that, I was like, that's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, at the beginning of the session, go for it.
Yes.
So like we all meet in a tavern, blah blah blah. We're established. Brayden said that we're not gonna go through you meet each other. We're already an established group together, and we enter the bar, and this dude is basically hustling us for money.
Yep.
Us. Who all does he hustle for money? Not me.
He hustles 9 because he's just like, ooh, gambling. That's something humans do.
He hustles me, and he hustles
he hustles our friend. You know his name? Remember his name?
Thoric? No.
Thoric?
No.
Alexander Damau?
Oh.
The paladin?
I was thinking of Dan's character.
I guess for context, our characters' names, Daniel was Thrak Glittersnatch,
Yep.
a half-elf, half-orc.
orc.
Yeah. So strange, I got those two mixed up. A half-orc fighter who gets smart when he wears a hat and then gets dumb as hell
Really
when it comes
dumb.
off. Then we had JDM, James Diego Matheson.
Yep.
We had Vin, which
Yeah.
is Mitch's
I'm not
character.
going to say my full name.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.
Actually, if you hand me my backpack, Kyle, I could pull it up.
I don't think we need that.
Okay.
Let's just call him Vin. I was gonna be surprised if he started talking about like family and stuff, and then say like your character's based on Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious.
That would have been hilarious. No, why didn't I think of that?
That's what I heard when I heard Vin. I was like, if he starts talking about cars or family or some stupid shit.
Doesn't matter how the ride goes. It's about who you come home to.
Oh my
family. Hey.
This is the second time you've talked about family. We got it.
Vin, why are you talking about family again?
But you just keep
This is
talking
the third time you have brought this up. Junior is getting irritated.
What the fuck is a car?
Junior if you don't think about the family.
You gotta think
You
about
just
where
gotta
you
let him
come
back in the
home.
family.
Oh my god.
But how do we get Junior?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great story.
Is that the one you're going on?
Yeah.
Yep. Let's hear it.
So this guy's hustling us. We get pissed, and we don't really have any evidence because we rolled like shit. So we know he's hustling us and he's lying and cheating us, but
We have no evidence.
we have no evidence. So the brute for the bar was like, well, I can't really do anything. So
Yeah, he's like, do you have evidence? And everybody was basically like,
nope.
No, we don't.
So because he was a dwarf, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
this dwarf.
Do you guys remember his real name? I don't.
I don't either.
Kyle.
Some with an R.
It's Junior now.
Yeah, it's Junior.
Yeah, we never. Actually, I don't think we ever got his name.
No, we didn't.
That was
the funny part. We
that
never
was-
got his name.
That was the thing that the Brayden, the DM, did actually mention. He was like, because we were like, what was his name? He was like, you guys never asked him for his name.
Yeah.
You killed him in cold blood.
Well, I thought for a second when we were like going down after we ended up killing him, like that his wife was gonna come back or something. She was like, "Have you seen my husband?"
Oh, that would have been
Oh,
and I was
hilarious.
just be like,
Oh God!
I got something over this way that I gotta take care of.
Yeah.
No,
No
so
honor among thieves.
how do we even let him go? Oh, we're like,
Somebody try to start something in the bar.
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, no. I'm so sorry about this. Here, get out of the
no,
bar.
that's what happened. Okay, this is what happens. I try to steal the money back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I go up to the bar guy because he's not a barmaid, bar
Right.
guy, and I'm like, "Here, can I help you serve these drinks to our table?" And he's like, no. And I'm like, "You should really let me help you serve these drinks to this table." He's like,
For real, like you should help. him
"Fine,
out.
I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh
my
need the help.
God.
I guess."
Yeah.
I spill drinks on dwarf. Try to steal it, and my sleight of hand is a +12. So like,
It's really good.
yeah, it's really really good. And,
what did you roll?
a natural one.
Oh,
He rolled
man.
Yep.
total for 13, which is still unlucky regardless, because that's
Yeah.
just a bad number.
Yeah, but it's a nat 1, so
Natural 1, yeah.
it's just gonna go bad.
Yeah.
No matter what. And he notices, he gets all huffy puffy, like, how dare you accuse me and then try to steal back the money and blah, blah, blah. And we let him storm off. And there was implications made to the brute of the bar that we were going to go kill him, or that we were going to kill him in the bar.
Well, yeah, because I like
Right?
the discussion.
Yeah.
The discussion was we were talking about it, and then Braden was
In
like,
the bar.
"Hey, like you're actually gonna leave him? Like, is that what you mean?" And he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna let him go." And it was
We're
like,
going to let him leave.
it's like he's gonna die. Yeah, that man is going to die. I'm not gonna be partaking. in
Oh
it,
my
but-
gosh. Okay, keep going with the story though. I just
Yeah.
remembered something from this session. That
Okay.
was really funny to me.
Okay.
So we let him walk away, and then I slip out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that you disappeared, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Through the commotion, you disappeared.
Yeah,
in
because
the-
what was the commotion?
It was us just talking to that guy
Yeah.
about what
Mm.
happened. He's like, we don't want to make a scene here. and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And as he's talking about it to you and everyone, you just slip
Yep.
out. He's like,
I
he's
wrote-
like looking at you, looks awake, looks back at you, and you're you
Gone.
just
Yeah.
dip.
And I'm just like, what? Where did he? Oh
Oop.
no.
Oh,
Oh no. And so I
yikes.
go out the door.
Yeah.
And I you're like already tracking him and stuff. And
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I catch up to him and I'm just like, oh, you forgot these 2 gold pieces. And he's like, I
Yes.
did? And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you did. And I'm so sorry about all the stuff that's happening. And then I look to the DM and I'm like, I'm distracting him right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is
Arm
Vin
around,
doing?
arm around the shoulder, trying to like throw his sight off.
Do you remember? Okay.
Oh my!
No, I forget what happened after that.
No, you.
Oh, I throw.
Yeah.
I throw the dagger at that point.
Yeah, but remember what happens after that? Because I was there just in case that didn't kill him.
Dude, you suck the life
Yeah.
out of that guy.
Oh, yeah.
You throw the dagger in his back and it does like insane damage.
Yeah.
because your trigger, because you were like, I want to ready it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Because he's like touching his shoulder, so I'm like, if this misses, I'm immediately doing it.
Yeah, if
But
the
what-
knife doesn't kill
If it
it.
doesn't kill him, I'm
And I was
using
like,
vampiric touch.
what was I, like 5 or 10 hit points away from killing it?
Yeah,
if
and-
not,
and
if
I
not
just-
less.
I pumped like a 5th level vampiric touching
You
him.
wasted a 5th level
Yeah.
Oh my
vampiric touch
God.
on some poor dwarf.
Yeah,
man.
I wanted to make sure because I didn't know if he was an ex-adventurer.
Yeah,
And
but
so I'm like, I gotta make sure this makes him go down, or we have a problem.
Yeah.
And I did.
And he did.
Yeah.
he gets a knife in his back, and then just hand on mouth, like
Yeah.
Splinter Cell style, taking him into the
Into
shadows.
the
as you're
shadows.
sucking the life out of
Yep.
him.
It was so beautiful.
and-
so
and
well
we're
done.
just-
And then afterwards,
Oh,
I rolled
yeah.
up my sleeves and went to work
like a
raising him.
mad scientist. You start working on his
And,
body.
like, this is in a back alleyway,
Yeah.
and the rest of the party like finally
So
gets
sus.
over there and sees what he's doing. And this isn't the first time we've seen you do this, so everyone's like, "All right, Kagan, look the other way and make sure
we
no one
got
else
those
sees-"
guys shoulder to shoulder in the alleyway. People are looking, and then they're like, "Okay, that's none of our business."
Yep, pretty much.
Dude, honestly,
Beautiful. That was my favorite part of the
it
session.
was a
to
good
be
like
honest.
it was a really good show of how our characters kind of operate. Because
Yeah.
you two have like the synergy of you kill him, I'll just take his body, and then
Yep.
we'll kind of
Well,
like
isn't that what I told him? I'm like, I hope your soul finds peace in the everlasting heaven, but your body's mine.
yeah,
Yep.
yo,
Oh,
but your
such a good
buddy,
line.
but your buddy is mine, and
But your body is mine.
like I remember when you were like going through the progress of the necromancy, and he mentioned like, oh yeah, you start like chopping up his body parts
Yeah.
and stuff.
And I was
we were
like,
whoa,
no,
whoa, this is just like a standard ritual circle thing, and you just arise, great.
Yeah, I'm
demon."
like that's not like in James's like thing. He wouldn't get his hands like bloody
Yeah.
and stuff. He would like do his necromantic stuff, but not like creepy like.
Yeah,
you
he
know.
wouldn't go like
like,
Dr.
chop up-
Frankenstein
yeah.
and start chopping
I'm
things
like
up.
that just
into
doesn't make
pieces.
sense for him.
Yeah.
He'll raise the corpse up from the dead with like magic, and it's fine for like the chanting and like like the pieces of ash from a graveyard or
Yeah.
something.
But he wouldn't go as far as like
Yeah, I'm like,
using amalgamated parts to
Yeah,
create
ew.
like a Frankenstein-esque
No.
Ew,
monster.
gross.
yeah, I'm just like
Disgusting.
that's So we raise him up, and then we come back to the bar,
Mhm.
and this was the part I just remembered, and it was I think one of my more favorite parts of the session.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I tell the bartender guy or the muscle guy like,
Yeah.
hey, we made a friend. And he's like, oh, I love making friends.
I love
And like,
making
would you
friends.
like to be one of my friends?
Oh my
And
god, I
would
do
you like
remember
to
that.
be
He's like, I
one of
thought we
my
already were. And
friends?
I'm like, just for that, I will keep you the way you are, my friend.
I'll keep you the way you are. And one of the things
Well, you're going like Wakandan there for a second.
my character would definitely be like a Ghana You like Wakanda, dude. I should probably try that next. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's just that's. I mean, it kind of go off just a little bit. That's kind of why I like one shots like a lot. It's just a way to really like go.
But imagine how much fun a campaign would have been with these characters.
I
Oh,
know
God.
it would have been nice.
I could have really flushed out Vin.
Yeah, I feel like 9 could have got some story elements thrown on him, but
I don't know if I
could
would
have
have.
thrown more on.
for
James.
sure, there was a lot of things I know.
Yeah.
With Alexander, Brandon, he was gonna be like, well, if we did a campaign, he'd just go through the story like, I do my stuff for the Holy Flame, but then he'd slowly start to question, is what I'm doing for the Holy Flame like right?
Yeah.
And so he'd go through like questioning and self reflection on like, geez, I really am a terrible human being.
Jesus.
Like
Yeah.
it's one of those
He
things
does
where
a
it's
lot
like,
of questionable stuff.
yeah, and for the Holy Flame, and then he starts to realize like maybe this isn't the path for
Of the
me.
righteous, you know.
Yeah, so it would have been nice to see that, but with one shots, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
It
You got that limited amount of time. And how do we actually get started on? Oh, a chick got murdered in the
yeah. So I
foyer
guess
or
to kind of
whatever,
pick
right?
up where we,
Oh, a well-known party, another group of a well-known partying adventurer.
yeah,
adventurers. Yeah.
Yeah, words. She gets shot with a bolt
yep.
Yep.
in front of everyone because like we all go up,
Well,
go to bed, and
yeah, everyone
9
goes.
starts
Yeah, everyone
powering
goes
down.
to bed. 9 powers down in the bar because he doesn't sleep.
Yep.
So he sees like in a haze, Kieran, who is one of the other adventurers that we're familiar with, kind of like walk in. And at first I was like, are they asking Kieran as in like is that dwarven guy named Kieran? Because he's dead. But we, come to realize that is not the case.
Nope.
And she comes up to 9, who's in like a weird and active moveless like kind of mode. And she just gets an arrow right in the throat. And it's like, oh, yikes. And then another
She
arrow.
just gets RKO'd right there.
Yeah, it was, for 9, who's just like,
I'll try to heal her. You guys remember that?
yeah, I'll try to heal her. There is a arrow. Like she's dead. Don't worry, I'll try to help her as best as I can.
To the nearest healer, and I will fix her up good as new.
As you take her back towards your room, I'll take her to the best healer I know. Don't worry,
I
she'll be
tried
fixed
so
up.
hard to get that second
Yeah,
zombie.
could have been nice.
Yeah.
I wish one of us had like speak to dead, because then we could have been like, who did this? You know,
Yeah.
get the
Yep.
answer.
Almost
immediately.
like you had 2 paladins that probably maybe should have taken that spell.
I mean, we didn't expect these things to happen.
Yeah.
It's not like we were like, we're gonna set up
Yeah.
all of this stuff to fight, this thing, which comes later. But after the rest of the party come down from the commotion, they
We take her to like a healer, basically.
yeah, take her to a temple.
We learn about where the note came from, I guess. It came from a specific region.
Yep, we learn about this place called the Whites.
Yep.
Essentially, this like woodland kind of area where like
But it was a giant, like, skeleton.
it was some kind of giant carcass
Yeah.
that we didn't really, because the whites are obviously the bones of something
Right.
just covered in something else. And we see that something is interfering with the ritual to bring her back to life, which is
Yep.
strange because usually it shouldn't take this long, and something is like interfering with it. So that's like our first clue that something is definitely off. A little more backstory for Kieran was that she was also a part of a adventuring group who had also just mysteriously went missing, and the wounds on her body was very similar to things that her party would usually do. So it was implied that her party
Yep.
did this to her.
Yep.
So
And I tried tracking. I did get the jump on the person for a little while that shot the bolt.
Yeah. Yep. Until they just, like, disappeared.
Yeah, they just zipped out, which
I
I'm
think-
guessing it was the mage.
No, I think it was the
Oh, the
rogue.
That's right,
Because
there's a
he's
shadow.
using the shadows, yeah.
yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, I wasted a spell slot looking for detect magic to try to, like, track him, but
Just doesn't
no
work.
dice.
And you
Yep.
saw me.
Yeah, I did see you.
You did see him.
You did see him. You,
did-
saw Vin.
You saw Vin flying above on his winged boots, and
Hey,
they
those things came in clutch though.
they did.
Yeah.
So with that, we try to figure out what to do next. We take her to the temple, and then we decide, all right, well, let's head to the Whites and let's see what happens next. So we trek out,
Come
and-
across some horses.
come across some horses. We have
Tame
a little
the horses.
Yep, have a little bit of shenanigans with that. Some of us get almost kicked. Some run away. We grab a couple of horses to take with us. We see a whole caravan of people just killed and murdered on the path. And we kind of investigate. We see that the wounds on some of them are of the same wounds as Kieran. We also saw various religious symbols on some of the people. So this was not like a militant group or anything, but just a caravan of different religious people. I mean, it was just one of those things. And so we decide to keep on trekking, and we encounter a shadowy figure kind of down the path a little bit. Huge man, like intimidating presence. And we all see him, and Vin decides to maybe get all off the beaten path and try to get a closer look at him. And after some telepathic interference from something, it is he stops as two more figures begin to come out of this fog, I believe. And it turns out that these people are the original party of Kieran's, now adorned in black armor with blacked out eyes, and they are here to kick some ass. And we commence in a fight on the beaten path.
I was within melee of a monk, which was not good.
A dwarven monk who also used Way of the Four Elements.
Not good.
Which was like,
I got cucked.
No. Oh, boy.
Yeah, because he got a surprise round on me. That was not good.
Just dashed at you and started beating you. And we did notice this, but we do notice later that the rogue had been following us, because I guess throughout the path that we walked, we felt like we were being watched. That was most likely the rogue or the monk. I mean, they both could have probably did it, watching us as we were walking. So they followed us the entire time. And we essentially get into this scuffle. We almost get beaten down if it wasn't for Matt's super clutch save with his boy Junior.
Yeah.
If you want to take the reins and talk about it, because I mean that was all you. Like if it wasn't for Junior. Oh my God! We would have got
clapped
hurt badly.
We would have got clapped.
So
so I made the guy who cheated us earlier into a zombie.
Yeah.
And I started calling him Junior as we were going through the campaign. And we got into this fight. Who was at the front?
It would have been Alexander
at
the front, because he was fighting Jace.
Well, I put Jeremy, which is one skeleton, and Gregory. Or was it Jeremy?
You put Jeremy
and Gregory.
Jeremy and Gregory on the sides. And then I used my magic to cast Polymorph on Junior. And I turned him into a giant ape.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. It can pick a rock out of the ground. That's the first thing I had to do, and just huck a boulder at a guy.
It was so cool.
Does so much damage.
Dude.
I think I also got a nat 20 on it, too. So it just
You cracked, I think, the rogue with it, because you saw the rogue, and it was like, throw rock at that rogue.
Yeah.
Just
Junior. Throw the rock. Throw.
Now you're using
I
a
know.
loop.
I know. So it's hard because it's easy to slip into. But I was like, Junior, huck a boulder at that poor, slightly underweight man.
Yeah. And King Kong just starts tossing rocks like Donkey Kong throwing barrels,
And then I had him go up against the monk too, but the monk was impatient to defend.
Dude,
and
impatient defense.
Well,
man.
I guess that was when Jeremy and Gregory were trying to hit him. I think I cast cantrips as my action because I didn't have any damaging spells other than because all the ones I picked actually were to help you guys.
Yeah, a lot of boosting stuff.
Yeah, but since I already had polymorph on Junior and he was already doing
hella damage
work and taking damage.
Yeah,
he took a lot of damage too.
A lot of that, especially with your class, it was concentration spells all the way. So it's you have to make a choice about, well, if I boost him, I lose this.
And I also had identify, and because I didn't know if we were going to get magic items and stuff. That was kind of stupid. I should have realized for a one-shot that was not the right spells to take. But
you live and learn. Live and learn.
Live and learn. Yeah, but he goes in, he just mollywops the people that are attacking us.
Dude, just starts beating them to a pulp, and I'm almost
gorilla smashing them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The monk eviscerated. And
like he turned into paste on the ground by the time Junior was done with him.
yeah, and the same for the Rogue too. Like the Rogue tried to like get away.
He got I think he got like Wicked Witch of the West under that boulder, and like only his feet were showing.
Yeah, he got crushed.
Yeah, he got crushed.
It was bad.
It was, and so at the end of this fight, as you know, I was about to say Arthur.
And I was counterspelling that whole time too.
and you were coming in clutch with counter spells too, so you were really helping out a lot with this fight. And
so wait, you can have. Because
counter spells an ability, right?
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Like, so you can have polymorph up as a concentration spell.
Yep.
Then you can also cast polymorph, not polymorph, a counter spell.
As long as you don't cast another concentration spell, you can cast.
Okay.
But I didn't have any ranged spell attacks other than disintegrate, which I'm not going to waste now because I didn't know if we were going to fight something bigger later.
Which we do.
Which before we rest.
Yeah, and so the fight continues. Alexander fights Jace and almost gets mollywopped right then and there because he was dealing with a lot. Flaming swords, ring of fire.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So, you know, we do our best to beat him down. He does
Didn't you guys
down.
surround him?
Yeah. It took all of us essentially to beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, from up above, and then they surrounded him down below.
Above,
Yeah,
and we were on all sides getting flanks and stuff, and he eventually does go down. The mage that we saw earlier gets away after being signaled by Jace to leave, and that's essentially that fight. Yeah, and the bodies, other than Jace, seem to sink into the ground.
No.
The bodies
They
turn to
whisk
ash.
away.
His sunk into the ground. The other two
Which
turned to
I was
ash.
thinking about it. I should have had Junior pull that body up with like giant ape strength.
Yeah,
should have.
because I remember Thrak tried to, but
Yeah.
got like pinned underneath his he was like getting clamped almost. So he's like, I gotta let go. But I think the big monkey would probably be able to.
Monkey.
So, and this is kind of where things if I had to guess, kind of went on a downward spiral.
I don't think they went downward yet.
We
went to the cabin.
Yeah, we got to the cabin. I think it was just before because we were thinking about what we should do next, and we were like, well, we just got messed up. So we were thinking about either doing a long rest or a short rest. And I think we decided on short rest, which in the end was like, oh no,
We should have went with long rest.
We should have probably went with long. I mean, it helps the paladins and stuff because they get
we
their
can
channel
reset
divinities
spells.
back and everything.
Ooh, I can reset spell. I get all of my spells back. With a
And
long
I get
rest,
I
but-
get all my stuff too. So we had a couple characters who could get their stuff back, and then our big tanks couldn't get anything really back.
Well, and I was like,
But it's also
we
a
went on the
one-shot.
adventure though. Like I'm like, and we're gonna now like after our first battle sleep for 8
hours.
hours
Yeah.
and then go back. I'm
Because
just
like
like,
a lot of time can happen in 8 hours. It might just leave.
well,
I mean,
and we would have been camping in the middle of this weird creepy ass forest.
yeah, a lot of things
Yeah.
could have happened. I mean, it
And
was
so I'm like, we're gonna get like murdered while we're trying to sleep out here.
It's a one shot. I mean, sometimes you just gotta throw all caution to the wind and just be like, look, let's just.
That was my idea. Like,
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, me and you, we could get our stuff back. I got all my key points back. I'm back to
and
full
I didn't
health.
suffer any damage that
Yeah.
fight because I had Junior and the tanks basically like eating
Defending,
it.
yeah. So, like you mentioned, we get to the cabin.
Yep, we
start
find
searching.
the cabinet.
Yep, we get to a chest that opens up to a hole in the bottom of it that leads to a tunnel, which is really trippy to think about because it was just essentially a chest that you could move around because he tried to move it and it did.
Yeah, he moved it. Yeah,
And then he opened it, and at the bottom of the chest was a hole that led straight down into an underground catacomb, which was like, okay.
Yeah, and Vin just jumped right in.
And Vin jumped right in head first, like a swimmer,
Yep.
followed by, I believe, Thrax
Glitter
went down
Snatch.
there.
Yep.
And of course JDM went down there to check it out.
Well, I think I waited to make sure all my
Oh.
guys could get in
Yep.
first.
And then 9 and Alexander decided to stay up because it's like, well, what if someone comes by and just locks us in here and there's actually no way out? So essentially we get to the door that's this like Tiamat centric kind of door. It has Tiamat on it, and immediately Vin starts praying to it.
Yeah.
Which is like, that is my goddess. I mean, that's just who I gotta worship. And we get through that door with some interesting means, and we get to the next room,
Yeah, don't I just have my guys put their hands on it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then they couldn't move, so we thought, oh, are they under some kind of spell or something? But they had to complete the door, or
Yeah.
else be stuck there. And so we enter the next room. Essentially, these are kind of like puzzles, puzzle rooms where we have to figure out how to get past it. The second room was this giant chasm where we had no idea really what to do. It was just a big, huge. I tried to be like, what if I just stepped to the wind, jumped, cleared the bridge, and I was like, because I have 55 feet. I mean, if I step to the wind, I dash, I do all that and jump, could probably make it.
Yeah, but there's actually rules for it.
Yeah, I
jumping
know.
specifically in the game.
Yeah, and then I got told the rules, and I was like, no, I'm only gonna make it like 8 feet.
Yeah. But no, I think you would have made it like
because it's based on your strength, right? Like your
yeah,
strength
it's
score.
It's based on your actual strength.
Yeah.
So maybe it was only 8 feet.
It was because I have an 8 in strength, so I would have been like, I only make it 8 feet.
or
That's-
athletics or something like that.
Yeah. So, Vin flies over the chasm, rope in hand, ties it around the stone bridge end and the other stone bridge end, and essentially made a tightrope to kind
Yep.
of crawl across.
We all crawled across. Some people ferried my guys.
Yeah.
Thank God.
9 was
Skeletons
like,
were easy to take across.
Yeah.
I was not taking Junior across.
yeah,
Junior was harder.
Well, with my strength of 8.
dude,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know 9 did some like acrobatic stuff.
Yeah,
make
because
it-
you rolled a natural 20.
Yeah. Well, first I rolled badly to get across the first time, and I almost died, and then
Oh, yeah, it's because
What?
we had to make a check at the halfway
and
point.
then I ran the rest of the way.
Didn't I start both combat encounters? One was on accident
Because
because I polymorphed Junior, I think, right?
the
And
first.
that started the combat
I
encounter.
believe the first fight was him coming at us, and then we just got
The
into
first
battle
fight was
positions.
me engaging with him, and he telepathically was telling me to, like, go back. Or
Well, but that didn't start combat.
Well, the monk essentially dashed at him, and
I think it was because I polymorphed Junior.
yeah, he saw him as a threat, and he was like, "I'm just gonna."
yeah, then he
Do
fucking
this.
smacked me
Yeah,
for...
I felt really bad because like he just went in on you, and I was like,
It's a
Alright.
high level monk. I mean, they
Junior,
they just go off.
get in there,
Yeah,
Mhm.
molly whop him.
and then you
did.
Essentially
Yep.
did the same to him. So
Yep.
that all works out.
It works out in the end. But we get across the bridge.
Yeah. So and then we get to this third room, staircase kind of room, and there's a bunch of different paths we could have took. If we went all the way down the stairs, something would have happened. There was the
I thought
bricks.
it turned into a U or like a Y.
It was essentially like there
No,
was
no,
some
you guys
stairs.
You had to sit on the seat, remember?
yeah, but that's on the stairs
Yeah,
too.
that's later. I thought.
Yeah, there's we get to the room with the stairs, and then there's bricks on the wall, and then we press the bricks in, which opens
that's
the door.
right.
If we
that's
went down,
right.
and if we go further down the stairs, there would have been, I believe he said after the session there was some like swords down there.
No, that was in the left of the Y intersection
Okay.
that we had to back out of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
which is where the stairs led to after we did the puzzle.
Yep.
right,
Because
so-
we ran into this. There was this. Basically there was this like trap type thing.
Yeah, it's probably a trap.
Yeah. And I dislodged it or basically turned it off, and it opened this room that gave us eventually, after figuring out the puzzle, we got a superior. What was it? Superior healing.
Yeah, it was a really good healing potion, and
A
then
really good, yeah. Poison.
yeah, two
Super
things of
good poison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I kept both of because I'm awful like that.
Which I mean, it comes back.
You had
to
your
help
people
us in the
grabbing it.
end. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, specifically Gregory. Was it
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gregory was just doing his best. He was living his best.
He was
life
trying.
in the final
I'm
fight.
living his
He was-
best life.
honestly though, yeah. For real.
So
Yeah.
we figure out the secret room, and then we come to the Y intersection in the dungeon, and we go left at first, and then I trigger a trap, and the door closes on me, or this
Yep.
like metal wall splits me from the right.
Portcullis.
What?
Yeah, a portcullis.
Portcullis.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
I
a
didn't-
giant metal door that just slammed
Yep.
on us. Yeah, big
Oh.
giant portcullis.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, we gotta lift it. We gotta." And
He just misty stepped.
yeah, I misty stepped back through the door.
Yep.
Yeah, which
I
was
was
like
Which
awesome.
because it
Awesome.
was graded.
Yeah, so
That
you
was
could,
why you were able to. If it was a solid door, you can only misty step to a spot you can see.
yeah.
Oh,
But it was graded though, so you
So
could
you could
see
see.
through it.
If you couldn't see that, you would have been stuck.
Yeah, like I don't know what we would have done if it was like a solid wall.
We probably would have had to break the wall. That all.
Yeah,
that's
that
all we
big
could've
Is
metal
that how
wall.
Dimension Door works too?
No.
No.
Dimension door is a place you picture in your mind. That's why I was able to teleport up to the later.
Right.
We'll
right.
get in that.
Yeah. And I mean it's coming up. So we
go down
Yeah.
we go backwards after Misty stepping through. We go
And
back.
it's funny. This is like 4 hours in, 4
Yeah.
or 5 hours
Yeah.
into the
We were
session.
summarizing this very
very quickly.
abruptly,
It seems like a lot had happened, but this was also spread out between like 4 to 5 hours, and we essentially played for almost like 8.
Yeah.
Like
It was a while.
It started
Yeah,
around
well-
7, 8, right?
It was
Started
closer to
closer to 8.
Closer
yeah.
to 8. So yeah, and we ended around 5 a.m. So like about a good
8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12,
Almost.
12 to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
would have been
9
like
hours.
Yeah.
It's a work day, baby.
essentially.
That's
Um,
crazy. It didn't even did it feel like 9
No.
hours to you guys?
No.
It wasn't
That
until
means
it
like,
was
we
fun.
got it
Yeah.
wasn't until we got to like the tail end when I started to feel the effects of like
Yeah, when you
being
were like,
tired.
Mitch, stick with us. You got this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
I've it's been so long. That's only the second boss fight I've ever been in. Like,
Really?
Ever. The only other one that I did, I got killed like that because I also played a wizard.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he used like psychic damage on my poor little
Yeah,
wizard
I forgot about
that
that.
has
yeah.
no resistances and like
Yeah.
12 HP and just killed him. And I was like, okay, well, it's got to be better than this, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, and it's
And so then that's why I started DMing. But anyway,
Yeah.
so we get to
We get it on the right side.
but the point of that was,
Yeah.
sorry, I was like in it. I
Oh, yeah,
wanted
no,
to win.
Yeah, I
Oh,
totally
yeah.
get that. And you know what comes next is something to behold in a
Yeah,
sense.
behold, yeah.
Oh God.
So we get to the doors because we go through the right side and we travel for a while until we reach these doors, and we're all kind of standing there and being like, "All right, we know this is bad." And Thrak just knocks on the door, and
Yeah,
like,
because he lost his smart amulet in
In
the
yeah,
the
he lost.
crossover.
Yeah, when he was
over
crossing the
chasm.
So he's
tightrope.
back to being
dumb.
dumb Thrak. So
I liked him I liked how Dan played him when he didn't have the amulet on.
I mean, it was
It's funny.
a nice
Yeah.
switch. So we hear a soft cackling in the door, behind the door. So
Yep.
we're like, oh boy, well
Yep.
they're kind of expecting us. So
Yeah.
we go through the doors and we see Jace and the mage kind of all the way down in this like extremely huge like throne room esque kind of place.
Yep.
Rubble is kind of thrown around, so it looks a little destroyed, and like levitating down from like the top of the room is this beholder, and
Yep.
we were like, oh fuck. Like for me, a beholder is like, nope, I can't. That's it. I'm donezo because I'm a monk, right? So and monks aren't the most range centric people. It's like
No.
I have to get in and fight this thing, and this thing can fly. There's no way I'm beating this thing. Like I can't do anything.
Well,
about
and think
it.
about our one shots party comp versus campaign party comp.
Oh yeah, we have a lot
You
of
guys have Eldritch Blast, arrow, throwing knife,
guns.
spells, gun,
We have a lot of ranged options.
The only melee is me and Brandon.
and Brandon has a gun.
Yeah, and Brandon. Yeah,
Even
Brandon can
Brandon
go.
has a ranged.
Yeah,
weapon.
Brandon can go range, and I can go range.
Yeah, and I
Right,
got my.
and now
glaive,
look at
too,
our
so-
party for the one shot. Paladin,
Nothing.
paladin, monk, fighter,
Wizard. Not very good. But what were we to
Yikes.
expect? What were we to expect?
Yeah,
You know,
we didn't know the boss.
we didn't know what was gonna happen.
That's called metagaming.
All we
Yeah.
knew was that Brayden said before the campaign, don't get too attached because, well,
Man, and they went into this whole tirade, and I think you and Dan's characters got brought up, right?
Yeah.
In front of the beholder.
Because we didn't engage with it.
Plot
right.
twist. It's a beholder that we're fighting.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beholder for Tiamat that we're fighting,
Which is
apparently.
interesting for my character because he worships Tiamat. So this is,
Yeah, so they kind of talk about what you can get if you if you join me and
yeah.
everything, and I think what you did, Matt, with the beholder, I thought worked perfectly for you, because it was like
I feel like if people did not like it.
I was gonna fight that thing anyway.
What do you mean?
Like,
What do you mean?
My decision. Like, do you want to talk about it, Kyle?
yeah. So the Beholder is spewing her stuff about joining me and you'll be powerful and all that jazz. And me and Brandon and Matt kind of look at each other and we're like, are you gonna listen to this? Like I was like, because my decision.
Well, and like, stop me if I'm wrong, but Dan seemed like he was all for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he saw that it was a Beholder and was like, yeah, I'm joining this. Like there's no way. And for my character 9, he's like, I'm a robot who has essentially gotten free will. Why would I just get free will just to become a slave again? That doesn't make sense for my character. And for Brandon's character, he's like, I'm a paladin of the Holy Flame. That's my devotion. That's where I go. I'm not gonna give it up for some
Beholder.
7-eyed looking piece of shit. Like, and I think JDM also had very good reason because, you know, she's spewing her nonsense, and JDM's like, there can only be one supervillain. All right,
I love that.
There's no room for 2.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Yeah, and I think that makes perfect sense for JDM because it's
No,
like
Jeremy.
Oh,
And
that's
then that's
right.
when we had
fire, and he
Yeah,
like shoots
fire.
the poisoned arrow, and it's like a nat 20.
nat 20'd on it.
Oh.
So that was like
Perfect.
12D, like 10
Yeah,
poison damage.
Because the poison was
doubled.
really good.
Yeah.
dude, it was perfect too. Because then you like went on your own kind of monologue against it,
Yeah.
and then you shoot the like. If you shot the arrow and it was a 1, I would have cried. 'Cause he's like, you said all that cool stuff, and then it's like, nope, miss. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's like punished. But no, that's not what God had in
no.
store for me on
You
that
hit
day.
that nat 20, and
Hit
I was
that
like,
nat
let's
20.
go,
And I was
baby.
like, yeah. I think I had Jeremy and the other one hit. And the other guy hit for like, you know, his arrow damage. But Jeremy
comes in
he
clutch.
crit. It was like a
Yeah.
total like 96
it
damage
was
or something.
crazy.
And was that half?
It got
too?
halved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But still,
Because
like,
it saved.
96.
It was a
damage.
19 DC too, and he
on
saved.
a Constitution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beholders get a
Constitution.
+4 as also. He had to roll pretty high, but
He just got a
Yeah,
lot
lucky.
of the times in that was just really lucky rolls
Yeah.
for him.
the natural 1 things also punished us
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty hard.
that hurt. That
Yeah,
really
Braden had a
did.
table where if you rolled a nat 1 on an attack, or
You roll percentage.
you roll percentage dice, and then you
It was essentially like a wild magic
Yeah.
kind of
but
thing.
for pain.
But it's for like you failed and this is what happened. Like what if one of us got 100%? I don't want to think
You have
about
a heart attack and die.
you somehow hit him so hard it sends shocks into your nervous system and you die. It just
because
breaks
at
your
one point
brainstem.
I rolled a nat 1, I got stunned for an entire round.
Dude.
Yeah, that was during the Beholder fight,
That
which
sucked.
hurt
Yeah.
us so bad.
Yeah,
Because I was at least doing not a whole lot of damage, but a decent amount.
you did.
Yeah.
You were doing more damage than me and.
Well, it's because you guys were taking on.
Because we were taking on Jace, but then Jace was the one who was like, I'm going to run up on these people and I'm going to fight them. And I was in a precarious situation where
We
it's
all
like,
got slowed too. A lot of us
dude,
did.
yeah, there was a giant, like, 150-foot
Or
cube
lair
of
actions.
Yep.
goop.
The lair actions, like trying to like cement you to the walls.
Yeah.
Junior got ousted because of
immediately with the anti-magic
the anti-magic look from the Beholder.
The Beholder fight was a fight to be like, look, guys, you're going to die here. If you win, you win.
We were so
But
close, though.
Like if we just had like us do something more, like you guys did a lot. If me or
Well,
Alexander or
As
even
a rogue, I
Thrak-
should have done it better. I shouldn't have like gotten taken out because I got no sneak attack. Then I should have.
Yeah, you kind of
know,
threw yourself right then and there. in
Yeah,
the
I gave
front.
up a lot of the damage that I can deal up from the beginning, which isn't smart to do.
But I mean, what could you have done?
yeah.
I mean,
And like, when I tried to, I should have tried dimension dooring somebody else with me, but I couldn't move because if I moved, I went back in the cone.
The cone.
Or like the
and
anti-magic
plus we were in
eye.
a precarious situation where we're all next to that wall of rubble.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side with Jason.
Yeah, I couldn't even get to you, could I?
No, we were on two opposite sides.
Yeah.
There was just nothing. We were in a bad spot.
it was a tough fight.
Yeah.
Tough fight.
I tried dimension dooring up above him. I did. I even made the check to land on him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I specifically said I want to dimension door like right above him, so that way it's not like a hard impact or anything. I just want to get there and then hold on.
Right.
And then when I held on, he was like, "Yeah, all the eye beams are gonna shoot you because you're hanging on to it." I'm just like, "Shit, bro."
It's like one of those things where it's like I'm not even mad.
No, you can't because that makes sense.
That's what a beholder would do. He'd just take his
He
attention.
just pounds me with all those.
Bombarded
Yeah.
with just beams
And luckily,
beams and
because I was a
beams.
necromancer, I got half damage on one of the necromancy things that I saved from, so I took only
Yeah.
quarter damage. But it was still like 20-some, and I only have 80 hit points.
Yeah.
I already popped the healing potion because I took 40-some on the first turn
Yeah.
from when I used Jeremy for the attack on him.
And I guess to kind of speed up this a little bit more, to kind of go over the big
Yeah.
moments, Thrak, who was fighting the mage because the mage has been giving us, because she had the ability to counterspell as well. So we were like, well,
And this is getting in the 4 or 5 a.m. mark.
yeah,
Yep.
we're getting close to the end here. And Thrak makes a attempt to valiantly kill himself with her, like grabbing her, jumping off the cliff with
Sword
sword
through
and
his
sword,
chest to
shish
her.
kebabbing them both.
Yeah.
And I was like, there goes one of our best.
He
tanks.
didn't lose any health yet.
Yeah,
Daniel
that
was
the-
tired, though.
Yeah.
so
it was
that's-
getting super late. So I'm like, that's totally understandable. I mean, you got a character off. We got a character killed, which is like fine. You know, like
Yeah.
you did it. You got him, and now we just have to deal with the big guy Jace now with blue flame swords instead. So he's like 10 times probably stronger now because it's like a whole different character. And this beholder, and me and Alexander are trying to wail on him as best as we can, but we're also bombarded by the beams, and it hurt so bad. It was so.
Alexander dies.
Yep.
Alexander goes down,
You get
and I
petrified.
had a chance to save him. I tried to too.
Yeah,
I got
can
hit
you
with
get, like,
I got hit with a petrification beam, and I was like, I have one turn to do something. So I was like, either I deal damage to Jace, or I try to do my best to stabilize Alexander. And
Yeah.
I chose to go after Alexander instead, and I failed it. So he didn't get stabilized in the end. I essentially walked to him, failed, walked back, and turned the stone.
Yep.
And
My skeleton, Gregory, was the only one up.
yeah,
Because the other guy got disintegrated by one of the I-beams, I think.
Yep.
yeah, he got
Yeah.
turned to literal dust.
Yep.
And then Junior got taken out, I think.
Yeah,
and-
because of the magic eye. He took
Yeah.
out Junior. And then I had Gregory left over Alexander's body,
Yeah.
but he's a skeleton and he doesn't know how to like save somebody. So I had him shooting at the other guy to try to distract him from killing him because I thought maybe Alexander could
it'll-
make his saves
yeah,
Yeah.
and
it
get a
just-
20 and get back up.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
Yeah, and then he killed Gregory, and I'm up polymorph or not. I'm dimension doored on the beholder. I get put to sleep, so
You
then I
fall
fall
off,
down, wake
yeah.
up. We're fighting again, and it's getting close.
Yeah.
It's getting
I
close.
shoot off the disintegrate at the beholder,
Yeah,
and that knocks it down a lot more again. It was
Yeah.
another like
dude,
40 some,
it did a
like
lot.
50 some.
Yeah,
It brought it
damage.
close.
And then I was like, if we can make it through this last like thing,
we'd be
we're
good.
gonna win. And
Yeah.
then you got hit with a lot. I got hit with sleep. You had to spend your turn to wake me up.
Yep.
And then that got him again,
And
he
then I got
went
hit
down.
again. I
Yeah.
got like stunned or something. And I was just like,
That's it. Yeah, it was like, and then he took out Vin, and then
yeah.
Well, no, he didn't kill me, but
at that point we were
Yeah,
like,
you were
there's
asleep.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like you were asleep. He was stunned, and it's like, well, they're just gonna take attacks, turns, and then that's gonna do it.
Yep.
And so, our party, not all of them technically, but
Yeah.
our party doesn't defeat the beholder at the end, but we still gave it a fight.
yeah, we
We tried at least.
gave it
you
the
know?
old college try.
Yeah,
Yup.
There were a lot of
Overall-
things we could have done at the beginning that
we
Our
And that's what-
party just wasn't
It wasn't. It was
made to fight a beholder.
No.
no.
We had one person who had range, and that was me.
Yeah, and you
And it was
used your
magic
Your
spells.
range.
match range, which is a beholder, is like, that's not
yeah.
happening.
Nope.
Yeah, and I was all melee.
Yeah.
I could
I
have threw
did
my
ha-
spear, but that's about it.
Everybody but me was melee.
Yeah,
I did have range, but
Eldritch Blast,
Yeah,
which
which
is
is-
not what your character spec to.
no.
Your
Yeah.
spec to dealing out that holy sword damage.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I could throw knives, but a D4 is not good.
yeah. So I guess to kind of give us a conclusion here, the
It was a fun
session,
time.
I had a good time.
It was a blast.
I liked all of our characters. Obviously, we weren't fit to fight that beholder in the first place. We were level 11 characters,
Yeah.
and that beholder had to have been incredible.
Didn't he say the challenge rating was like
powerful.
13?
Yeah, it's a beholder. It's one of the it's the most dangerous creature in all of D&D.
Yeah, so if we won, big ups. But I was
We were close.
I was going into this not having a lot of Yeah, like my
when
character's
that
gonna go
when
through.
that started though, when the fight started, I felt good. I
Oh,
felt
yeah.
good
Oh,
about
yeah.
our chances.
we were doing really well, like the crits and the poison damage, and like
We had a
did
strong
so
start.
much.
We-
I couldn't believe both of them saved from that. I was like, both of them, the mage saves from it. Like, I was like, ah.
Yeah,
And then I was like trying to shoot off spells, and it just,
Yeah.
I was
just
like,
wasn't working.
looking at like that meme was like looking at me, and I was like, all right, well,
Yeah.
To give you guys a little like after the fact, so we went till 5, and then I had softball all day that next day, and then I went out and was having a little fun with a couple of friends. I went to sleep around 1:00 that Saturday night. I didn't wake up, like, you know how sometimes you like wake up at a certain time to like 6 a.m. and then you fall back to sleep. I did not wake up until 1:15 on Sunday. I slept till 1:30 in the morning till 1:15. Like,
It was
That's
12
12
hours.
full 12 hours, and I think it was mainly
Yeah.
because I only got like 2 hours of sleep that Friday to Saturday,
Yeah.
and just I didn't feel.
thank you for powering through with
Dude,
that, by the way.
I
Oh, yeah.
had a ton of
It was
fun.
fun. It was fun.
I will say the beginning of the session was a lot more fun for me with that just assassinate and then revivified to
Oh,
dead.
yeah, like-
love that. That was so much
I
fun.
think the beginning was really like a high note for us.
Yeah,
and
the
then,
beholder fight was just really tough.
The
We had a
Beholder
good
fight was-
start, but I
yeah.
think that there was things we could have done that were better.
yeah.
yeah.
I had a ton of fun. I hope you enjoyed it, man.
Oh yeah, it was so much fun. I love being a player. It's fun.
I hope we can have more in the future, honestly.
Yeah.
I hope that like in the next semester or so, and if you're willing to try it too, Mitch, whenever you come back, you know, like we take a day or two to just, hey, let's set up another one of these. I'm down.
Yep.
I have so many characters that I want to just play, even if it's in a one-shot format, that I just want to have out because I feel like they'd be really cool. And
I want to play
it'd be like a
Warlock
play
at some
test.
point.
Dude, there's
Warlocks
so
are
much
cool.
stuff you can do with Warlock. Like,
They're
there's
so
Pack
cool.
of the Chain, Pack of the Tome, there's the Fiends, there's Celestials, there's Undying, Great Old Ones. There's so
lot of
much
cool stuff.
It's so much flavor.
Speaking
I'd
of
love to play a
playing
good sorcerer. That'd be fun.
sorcerers are so fun.
And then you put them together. Oh,
Ooh,
God.
precursor.
Oh, God.
Precursor.
Jeez.
Precursor.
Anyway,
Yeah, we should wrap it up. We'll see you guys in a moment. All right, and we're back talking about our typical D&D session. As always, as the DM, I will take a back seat. Kyle and Mitch, what happened last time?
you know, we had a banger of a session last time.
Such a good session.
One of the best
Top
sessions we
tier.
could have had.
S
And
tier.
then we follow that up
You
with
guys really think it
another
was
banger.
You guys think
Dude.
both were S tier?
Oh my
we
God,
fought
yes.
a dragon
and we
won.
killed it. Yeah, that's amazing.
In the best storytelling way possible,
Yeah.
too. And I was like, how are we going to top this
the
session?
sorcerer uses a bow and
Yeah.
kills the dragon.
Not even that. It's the man who's been trying to find this for so long finally getting what he rightfully deserves.
Yeah.
That's what hits it for me.
Well, he hadn't secured it yet, but
I
he
love
got a huge
stories that
step
tie
forward.
together, honestly.
Yeah, it was a good ending.
And then this one, you guys picked up right where that left off.
Yeah, and Mitch, if you want to take the reins here and talk a little bit about your discussion with this dragon.
Yeah, so it was nice having the week to kind of mentally prep on what I was going to kind of game plan. Because, like, this discussion's super important. Like, I don't, like, the checks are up to chance, but what I say is in my control. So if I can control that going in and be like, okay, not write out a script, but, like, just know, like, okay,
These are my points.
these are the points that I'm going to use to persuade it over, and hopefully they work. And, like, with any plan, it doesn't go quite like you hope it does.
There was some phrasing moments where I was like, I'm sorry, what?
What phrasing moments? What I thought I did a pretty solid job.
There was one sentence that you said
There was one.
where I was like,
I was a little bit like,
I think you got it though. Like
It took a
saw
minute.
You like kind of cocked your head a little bit, and then you thought your eyes went up, and then you thought,
Yeah.
and then you're like you went forward with it.
yeah.
yeah, it was that was the only thing.
I didn't think you ever failed at anything.
Yeah, it wasn't like a
No.
There wasn't a time when I heard it and I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. It was just one of those things where
Way
it's
better
like,
than last session's.
and I mean, we even got
It's
we got the
also
gist of that
helpful
one
not
too.
to have two inputs as well when you're trying to,
It's just a
get your
one-on-one
point
talk.
across. It
Yeah.
was a one-on-one,
Yeah,
which people respected.
yeah,
Yeah, there were a couple moments where Dan was like, "Do you want me to like?" I was like, "No,
You have to let me do this.
I
one.
have to do this."
This is a me thing.
And there was a lot of dead silence because, like, I'm not gonna lie, my heart thumping, big big moment. And I had spent the whole week prepping for this conversation. Like I knew what I needed to talk about, and I still nerves had a grip on me.
Dude, it's like a presentation. You
was-
do all your time rehearsing that, and then the
know.
big day comes, and you're like,
It went pretty well though. I thought my big point was the biggest point I wanted to get across was that I'm not like any other dragon rider that's going to offer you to tame you or to be your rider. I will not die.
You were essentially like, how I will never leave because I can't die.
I'm not immortal. I'm not gonna die 50 years from now. And then you're like, oh wow, that was
my
a
offer,
nice 2 sentence in my big book.
Yeah, and
And
my offer will go beyond lifetimes. And then I remember Matt as the dragon was like, your lifetime or my lifetime.
I'm not gonna lie, that statement confused me because that was a pinnacle point.
That was a very big point. I was like, you know what, that dragon does have a good point because it's like, what do you mean by lifetime? Are you saying that this will go until I die or until you die? Like, what are we doing?
I just want to make sure I was understanding it because I was like, I'm probably gonna outlive you, which is hard to say for an ancient dragon, but like,
right, and even harder for an ancient dragon to accept.
Yeah.
So what did you do to counteract that?
So then, well, I think at that point, then you it was like having a hard time believing that. Well, no, it asks like, do you die? Like, do you ever die?
Because the way you phrased it was like, well, she hasn't seen a lot.
That's right.
It was like,
yeah.
Because at the time, the dragon didn't know anything about you. You were just saying, I can't die.
Yeah.
And
it's
I'm
like,
sure it's
what?
heard that sentence a lot by people.
Probably.
Like, I'll never die. And it's like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Like, actually prove to me that you can't die.
And you were like, it asked if you could die. She asked if you could die. And then you're like, no. And I'm like,
Roll
deception, because you know that's not true.
Yeah.
You can die, air quotes. It's just, it'd be really, really,
it's
really
very
hard
difficult
to kill us.
And I didn't know how to explain to the dragon, be like, well, technically, yes, I can die. But that's like a
technically, yeah.
Yeah, that's a weak point. That's like, well,
Right.
yeah,
That's the point you don't want to admit, right?
But
Exactly.
luckily, you had a hands-on example of what you meant by this
yeah, because
power.
I rolled shit on my deception, and the dragon was like, okay,
Yeah,
and then
All right.
there comes Oberyn back.
Yeah,
Right
right.
back
And to
down.
start the conversation off, to give a little context, the dragon asked us, and she was like, your friend just died. Does this not bother you at all? And then that's when it started being like, well, no,
Right.
I just give him 3 days. He'll be back.
Yeah.
we don't.
But I guess it was
Perma-die.
instead of 3 days,
It was
like
2 minutes.
in about I guess 30 minutes from after my death.
Yeah.
I just come right back.
Cerulean was pissed.
Cerulean was
Oh, is
pissed.
she really?
I mean, I guess to give a little more context from when I died, I enter in my sword space, and right for a split second, Matt tells me to do like a perception. So I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. Because you first said, how big is your sword space, right? You talked about like the size of it or how is it looking.
I said it was big enough for 2 chairs, right?
Right. It wasn't super big, but it's enough for 2 chairs. And so you said, okay, we'll make a perception check. And I was like, perception?
Yep.
Ooh. So I rolled shit, which I was like,
Yeah, it was bad.
no. And then I think you made me roll perception and intelligence.
Yep.
And I failed both.
Yep.
So I was like, it's going to be so good. So, and even before that, initially, because I knew what I was going to do for those 3 days. You want to know what I was going to do?
What are you going to
It
do?
wasn't meditate. I was going to see if I can ask my patron to take me back to that wartime vision he showed me. Like, get me right on the scene again. Except this time, I'm like, instead of in the eyes of someone else, I'm just like walking through the entire thing to like see just kind of get like a freeze frame and like look around kind of thing. Like, just go back to those moments to really analyze what was going on. Because when he first showed me, it was like, flash, 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 here's some shit, and you're back. And
It
I'm
wasn't
like,
a flash. He took you through the whole thing.
yeah, it was essentially
It was a
everything that was
sequence of events,
Right.
but it wasn't like cut.
And
Like,
in those-
you lived through it.
Yeah, and with that too, it was like I lived through it, so I was looking through the eyes of that person. But this time, it's like I want to go back and just watch everything around me in my own
Christmas
eyes.
or like Ghost of Christmas Past type
Yeah,
situation.
like you're kind of just watching it from an outside perspective and to see who I was and who was doing all that stuff. That was what I was planning on doing. So But instead,
allow me to throw a wrench.
and that's fine too, because I'm sure my death will come at some point again, and then I'll just do it eventually. But yeah, so I rolled pretty bad on those, and he kind of describes to me that somebody was sitting in the chair, but it wasn't anyone that I knew. Obviously, I rolled pretty bad, but he couldn't give me any big details because of my roll. All I could discern was that it was blue eyes.
Yep.
Which still is like, if it was anyone else, if it was my patron or Oem, there would be no real reason for me to roll, because what I thought going into this was, for this exact moment, to roll perception would be, obviously because he's so fast and it's split second stuff. But the intelligence is something where it's like, do you recognize this person? If it was my patron, I should have automatically known. If it was my Oem, I should have automatically known. Or at least had a semblance of knowing. This was just some other person sitting there.
Who
And I could go into my
knows?
theories a little later,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Cerulean comes through a portal and she's talking to Oem, I'm probably guessing, or
Someone.
soldiers or somebody, comes in and sees me chilling because I zap right in my chair. And, she is a little livid because I did.
Why was she mad?
Well, I died again. That's
Oh.
why. I mean,
putting them behind schedule
with my death.
again.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's essentially
yeah.
what's going on.
And you don't know what else is going on in her
she
neck of the woods.
All we really know is that she had that fight with Bahamut, and now she's like recovering. Am I having a stroke?
Trying to
She's
say recuperating?
yeah,
Yeah.
recuperating. And she's
And
just
you guys
trying to
don't even know
retaliate,
that happened.
and we don't even
No.
know.
You as players know.
Yeah,
Because I like you guys being informed.
right.
And
But
it's
we
also
didn't
really
actually
cool.
know what was coming.
It was
up.
really
Yeah,
cool.
I like that a lot. But yeah, we don't know what's going on in her neck of the woods. But she comes in livid, and she just pulls me out before I'm ready.
Yeah.
Make a constitution check.
And
Saving throw.
They're
yeah,
saving
and I think I failed on that too.
No,
I
you
I
passed.
passed. I
You
passed
passed.
because it was like going through, like getting atomized essentially, and like ripped before I was ready, and thrown back into the prime material,
Yeah.
which really slugged me, dude.
Well, and what I was going to do, and then I decided not to because that was too mean because you still had. Because I knew what was about to happen a little bit later. I was like, I'll put him at half hit points.
Yeah,
Because I would have been like, you have like
1 hit point.
1 or maybe a quarter if I'm feeling real generous. But
And
then I was
50
like,
and 55 health, like that's what I'm at right now. Unless
Yep.
I rolled my hit points extremely terribly, but I'm at a 55 right now,
that's decent.
which is decent.
You're at level 6?
Yeah,
Yeah, that you're doing better than we were for level 11
Yeah.
characters.
and
Think
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
only 30-point difference.
right,
Yeah.
and
And you have another 5 levels to go.
get where they were, and so half of 55 is like 27. So right off the jump, I'm like, oh,
You're about where layoff is.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, oh,
It's a bad place to be.
it's a bad place,
Yeah.
especially when that's my half. It's like,
Yeah.
if I was higher level, of course, and I'm at like 80 or 90, then it's like, oh yeah, that's still like a good chunk.
Yeah,
That's at least 2 full rounds, maybe.
yeah.
but you
Um,
take the double point of exhaustion.
Yeah,
I
the double
do
points of
take the
exhaustion.
double
And you
point.
come back right
And
in
I-
the middle of their conversation.
Yeah,
And what better timing?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, it served.
Dragon's like, oh,
Yeah, and then she like comes down, like circles up on you, gets like the head
Yeah.
above you, just checking everything out,
Yeah,
and then focuses back on you.
yeah, and then I
Yep.
try to say something, and then the dragon was like, "Hey, nah."
no, we're not talking to you.
It was.
Oh,
it-
what did you say?
I said like, "Is this the dragon?" kind of thing, because I died before.
You
I
said
even,
something funny. It was funny.
Yeah, it was something funny. Or
It was
I
like,
came in
quippy.
and I was like, "Hey, is that the dragon? Did we like?" Or it was like essentially like, "Did we win?" and stuff like that. Because I
Yeah,
died.
I thought it was funny.
and then
Very
the
quippy for Oberyn.
Yeah, well, the first thing that he says right to Cerulean when she takes me back is much obliged, and then she rips me out of the prime material and throws me in. So
and if you're ascendant playing into the prime material.
yeah, and so it's like, oh boy, and so he's absolutely slugged,
I told you,
tired,
it takes the wind out of you.
delirious. Yeah, he's just like, oh boy,
Not good.
I shouldn't be here. So
But help prove my point.
yeah, and that's
just boom.
And that's
just
what I
like-
liked too. It was the fact that like we had a hands-on example of what we mean.
Well, and it was really nice because like you helped, but you didn't, because it's so hard to help when you're so hard to help persuade a dragon without
Like actual proof?
overstepping, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You have like Zion has to do the persuading, and he has to show examples and be like, this is this,
To
and
show
this
that it's
leads
true.
to this, and this is why that you should let me be your dragon or let me be your rider.
Yeah.
And anything else, and that's why I kind of swayed off, or that's kind of why I was like, Dan, let me do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm
Let
sure
me do
he'd
this.
probably like pony up and like kiss up to a dragon, and it's like,
Which makes sense.
which is fair. It's just one of those things where it's like, well, I don't need your praise. I
Dragons
need
are very
proof.
like dragons are very like.
Well,
they
did you
don't
notice one of the qualities that she dislikes in people? I don't know if anybody's noticed it yet.
arrogance.
Overconfidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't
Which-
like she doesn't like people who proclaim that they're the best unless they actually back it up.
Yup.
Dominance. That's for later. But like
Oh my god.
essentially, yeah, like overconfidence. So like when with the adult dragon, she wasn't
Yeah.
really turned on by it. When Edwin was like,
You know what? She
kind
was
of-
turned on though by.
yeah, let's
I
hear
knew
it.
you were gonna get here
Yeah.
eventually.
So
But yeah,
yeah.
Let's
Go,
for
Yeah.
it.
tell the story.
Explain
So
it.
what happened?
you're showing her the scales.
Yeah. She wasn't quite buying it yet. She's like, okay, you can't die,
Mm-hmm.
but like, what else? Like, she wanted a little bit more. So then I take the shirt off. I show her the scales, and Matt was like, make me an ab check.
Well, somebody said like something quippy, and I'm like, yeah, make me an ab check.
Yeah,
And
like
you
you
did.
you
I did. I rolled
strip
natural 20.
Yep. And
Yeah.
you don't add anything to it. 'Cause
eight
What
pack.
else? What would you roll to it? Performance?
8-pack. You have abs on the side a little bit from doing like
Yeah.
the side like
Yeah.
stretches. Like this man was chiseled with scales,
Chiseled.
Yeah.
and yeah,
Matt's like, dragon a little turned on.
I didn't say that.
I thought you did.
I definitely heard it.
Oh, did I say it?
You
Did I
definitely.
just
You said she
slightly-
was slightly aroused.
slightly aroused. Okay.
That's about this.
Yeah, I'm all right.
This sounds the same.
Don't mean to put
connotation.
words in your mouth.
No. I mean, that's basically it. Yeah.
She kind of blushed a little bit, like, oh jeez.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't blush, but like the eyes were like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
you see some 8-pack having scaled man strip in front of you like a shining beacon of like the gods. Yeah, you'd probably get hit with something. I mean, it also just killed an adult dragon. Real honestly, like, and this is not even a joke. I know I just mentioned him like a couple minutes ago, but that's honestly big Dominus energy. That's something the Dominus would do. He'd kill something and then just immediately like, here is my body. I show to you.
I did say, are you impressed?
Yeah,
That's some Dominus
You essentially
type shit.
you essentially took like the Dominus and then applied it to yourself.
yeah. Remember what he did at the end of his fight?
Arms
Hands
out.
up.
Yes, this is great.
Yikers.
Even on the brink of death too, he still was like, give me power. You're slowly turning into the Dominus day by day.
No.
Day by day.
Maybe. I don't know.
But like a good Dominus. I mean, Dominus doesn't mean evil. It's just
Yeah.
a name that comes with it.
Anyway, the dragon seeing that was like, it was enough to be like, to engage further, being like, okay, how did she say it? It wasn't like I'll consider it, but it was like, I want your power.
Yeah, see, so
I want what you have. And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, because you're like talking about this, and then she's like, okay, well I want it. And you're like, well, but do you really? And she's like, why would you be able to have it, but
And not
I
me?
wouldn't be able to have it?
Yeah, because I remember you just talked about, because Oberyn came in and then you explained how
It kinda worked.
Like we
Yeah.
met an entity.
Very vague description
we met
on it.
we met an entity. It provided us with powers of
Yeah.
like eternal life. She heard
Oh,
that and
and
was
then I'm
like,
like, this is the power.
Yeah.
and then she was like, okay,
I want
well then
that
let
power.
me meet that person.
No. She didn't say meet that
Mm.
person. She's like, I want your power. I was
Right.
like, I don't know if that's transferable. And I don't know if I want to transfer it to you. I don't think that's how this works.
Well, and it's
Oh,
also
and then I think
we're people and we have the powers. What happens when you give something like that to a freaking dragon?
and not just any dragon, an ancient
An
dragon
ancient
that's already
dragon.
lived long enough. Yeah. And you give it one, like, if you gave it like annihilation, oh my
See,
god.
but here's my thought though.
Sword space would be huge by that point. Like,
Well,
I don't even want to know how big Visenra's sword space would be.
it'd be, I mean, she's lived for almost about 1,000
Over
years.
1,000 years.
She
But
had to have
here's
done
my
a
thought.
lot.
The remaining pillar, from what we know, well, I guess
What we knew. Because We knew.
I know Zion knows there's one remaining pillar. I guess I don't know what that pillar means.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, the thing with the aspects was that they, depending on what we said to the deep, that was what our aspect was going to be.
But I thought they had 6.
There were 6, right?
There were 6 pillars. 7.
There were 7 because one was already
7.
broken.
One was already broken, and that was Cerulean's.
Yeah, but like,
And then there was
Depending-
enough for all of you. If you guys
depending
wanted.
on
Yeah.
what you said, that's.
I'm just saying the
what.
Well, it already like the deep already like understands you when you come in. That's like part of the shtick,
Yeah,
especially with the centipede. That's what the centipede's job was on the side.
to assess.
Was to when it like, taps into your consciousness, assess you, and then that's when I give you
Yeah.
like
So when I
aspect
so when I
choice.
bonded with it, that's when it was like, all right, well, I got the
and,
download.
and
So
then bonded with I made sure it bit into all of you once.
yeah, which is
Hmm.
completely understandable. It
But
was
yeah,
kind of like an inside.
but I
joke.
know
Behind the scenes.
this
Yeah.
is, I guess, more player knowledge than Zion knowledge. But knowing that the remaining pillar is one of following.
You don't know what it is.
Yeah,
That's what it would have been for Leatfa.
it could have been. It could have. That's what I'm saying. Like it could have been for
Oh, wait.
anybody.
Oh, okay.
It depends on what you.
Well, shit. Then that doesn't matter. It would have been whatever. It would. It's gonna be whatever the dragon wants it to be. If
The
it's
aspect of war is still open.
Which probably could have been the dragon, but we don't know because we don't know what she really
yeah,
wants.
we don't know what she really wants.
I mean,
But-
she got
War,
off.
pretty cool one.
She did get offered to like mate with the dragon, right? Which means she'd have to be like getting to a point where she has to start thinking about a family, right?
That
Like,
could just be the male dragon, though.
it could have just been the male dragon, but we don't know why he was there in the first place. We just know like
Yeah.
I'm here to mate. But we also think like, well, the ancient dragon's already old enough as is.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't like being told it's old, but I'm
Yeah,
sure,
but
because I'm sure the
Yeah.
dragon's understanding
So-
like I've been alive for so long,
yeah,
and now she
Zion.
wants eternal life.
Zion knew that there was one pillar left, and he's like, okay, I can't give you my power. I don't think that's how this works.
Hell no, this
I-
isn't.
I-
this
I
isn't.
don't-
Correct.
This
I,
isn't
I
my
don't think
hero.
how this isn't. Yeah, this doesn't work like that.
I'm gonna pluck my hair out and make you eat,
I'm
and now
gonna.
you have my power.
I
Like,
worded it specifically like, help us fight the beholder, and I will take you to the deep.
yeah,
I did not offer the power.
you said
I will take you to this entity.
You
And
essentially
from
said-
that point, it's on them.
yeah. You essentially was like
Specifically, like that's how that's why I worded it for that reason.
It was like a job interview where it's like, all right, well, I'll send your stuff to the boss. Like it's like a like a here's a complaint box, put it in there.
No,
we'll
not
send
like
it out, but we
that.
don't know if it'll.
It was
be,
more
you
like
know.
I'll help you get there, but after you get there, it's on you.
Yeah. Well, and that's how it should be because it's if you're taking this power, it's
Yeah, it's not given, it's taken.
yeah.
Yeah, and for Vizenra, we don't exactly know what she wants. We just know she's just been up in this mountain for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
and
And then you guys leave the mountain.
then we leave.
Well, or is there anything else you want to touch before you go?
Nothing. Well, I do have a little. Me and Brandon were talking about this, and
Mhm.
we're trying to figure out how to get into sword spaces without dying.
Yep.
That's a big thing we're trying to figure out right now because
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
step number 2 in this process. I feel like,
Oh yeah,
and an idea is if I had persuaded the dragon to let me be its rider, which I haven't done technically yet.
Nope.
no, you're kind of at a place where it's like I'll help you. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, but this
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're a partnership right now. Prove to me that
you're
willing.
in she's test driving you right now.
Yeah.
It seems like
feeling out the car.
Which it
yeah, which is totally understandable.
It-
She's smart. She gets it.
yeah. I
And
don't
it's
know.
a partnership. It's not a
It's not a I own you. It's
Right.
we work together, and Zion knows that, 100%.
That's why
Yep.
it's here.
So, but to get back to what I was talking about is
Yep, sorry.
no, you're good. I was thinking about making the permanent spot in her lair.
Mm.
Like if this goes well and she does let me become a rider, that's where it's gonna go.
It makes the most sense.
Okay.
And Brandon and I were talking about it. He's like, you should have done it. You should have, while we were up there, you should have made it. I'm like, yeah, but he hasn't agreed to it yet.
Yeah,
And
you,
if
Is
she,
there a powerful enough connection even to that space yet to where you'd be able to make it there?
yeah,
yeah.
that too.
Having the dragon actually be your like mount would definitely make it stronger.
Mm.
Because if you just knew this person and was like, yeah, we're kind of working together, and then you make a layer like a door to it from there, it doesn't feel right because it's like you don't really have
Yeah.
a connection to the place yet.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was just one thing I had thought about doing. Like that's because you think about places where you want to put that.
Yeah.
Kind of like and to rebuild the capital is a long ways out.
Yep.
That's not going to happen for a long time. So, and I need to get on building that doorway because it's kind of important.
And I mean, for you to do it on the mountain makes sense. It's a crowning achievement in your life, and it's also one of the hardest places to reach.
And it's a place where I failed before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of symbolism to yours, and I feel like for a lot of people's like a permanent doorway would be that. It'd be either like a super big crowning achievement that you've done that you like want to market with it as a doorway, I don't know if we have a lot to go off of for everyone else at the moment.
Yeah, but that's kind of getting into the weeds on some of that.
Yeah.
So we basically she agrees to come help us, and then she turns into we go stay in Grum.
Mm-hmm.
She turns into a human using her amulet or her circlet. Sorry.
Yep.
And
it goes
then-
on her head and it's got a little pearl in the middle.
Yep. We before we do that, before we go into Grum though, we hack at the adult dragon.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And originally Edwin wanted
Yeah,
to do.
because she comes down when you guys get done with that.
Yep.
Yep.
because
She kind of goes
she
away for a
leaves,
while.
and everyone's like, "What are we gonna do now?" I'm like, well,
Start chopping up that dragon.
I forget who, but someone was like, "Mitch, you should go like resign. You should go like talk to him." Like, no,
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna come over, and she's gonna tell me yes or no when she's ready.
Yeah.
You're gonna
and,
do that. I'm gonna let that be.
yeah,
we
with,
have other shit to do.
And with Oberyn too, while that was all happening, like the talking and everything, he just was like plopped on the ground, like
Yeah.
sitting, and was like, "Arthur, can I just go into Grum?
yeah.
I am extremely tired."
Yeah, and he just pops you in there.
And he popped me in there, and
Yeah.
I just tried to sleep as much as because I didn't know how long it was gonna be. So I was like,
Right.
if it's 8 hours long, we're waiting for her to come back.
Yeah.
I'm taking the opportunity to rest
No,
because
it's a good call.
that's
Yeah.
just I have 2 points of exhaustion. If we go into another fight, half speed,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not
I'd
good.
be terribly screwed.
But yeah,
So,
so we
yeah.
carve at the dragon. We get a heart. We get 2 eyes. Did we get any teeth?
Brandon got all the teeth.
Oh,
Brandon
Brandon.
tried to get as much teeth as possible. He broke a couple.
He broke a lot.
He broke a lot, but he got
That's
like
also
5
hard.
teeth
I think he
in
got 5
total,
total, I think.
which
Yeah.
is still
Edwin
good.
got 3 vials of white dragon blood.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, yep. So 3 vials of white dragon blood, teeth, both eyes,
In
the
armor.
heart. We got a ton of scales, enough scales to do a full armor set,
Yep.
Yep.
which is pretty fucking dope.
Pretty baller.
And then we got a paw, or we got a hand, and then a hand and an arm. So
Yeah, which was a pretty good haul. And then we
Yeah.
froze the heart in the mountain, I believe.
yeah,
I don't think
I
we took-
instantly locked that up because that's super.
Because we'll
important.
come back for that at some point.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
Una
right
ice
now
breath
it's-
that.
Yeah,
And then
definitely an
we
insurance policy. So when like if we're flat broke,
Yeah.
I have this big old heart waiting for us in the freezer.
so then we take everything else and we put it in the hot tub. Right?
Well, it's when you guys just finish up carving up the rest of it that you hear like this like sound of like breaking or something forming.
Yeah.
You guys look up and she's still in dragon form and has solidified whatever tunnel she went to in ice with her ice breath.
She kind of closed off a
Her
certain
hoard.
a place or somewhere, and
Yeah.
just froze it off. And then after
So
carving
shit, some of the stuff that was just sitting out there, we could have just taken. She wouldn't have given a shit about.
I mean, everything
It's
was
a dragon
entombed.
horde.
Everything was entombed in ice too.
Yeah.
The golden throne, the gold coins underneath the ice,
Yeah.
everything was. We'd have to chip away at it for a while,
Yeah.
which is like,
And it's not like there was like a pile of like gold like in one
No.
spot. It was like a gold coin every like 10 feet.
yeah.
Right.
And
Create that like shimmer effect.
also to kind of add some more atmosphere to what was going on, to give a sense of time. Over time, as we were talking to the dragon and doing all this stuff with the carving and everything, Matt, every couple of minutes or so would say, you hear thunder and you see clouds kind of forming in the.
I
Like,
just started playing like
Thunder.
slowly. I was just slowly bringing it in a little bit louder every like little bit.
yeah.
Mm.
I noticed it and immediately.
I think that was actually after you guys started carving stuff up and came back out of Grum.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we slept in Grum.
Yep. And she comes down in her human form, and funny times to be had.
Oh,
Tsundere.
funny
Tsundere.
time.
She's very
Attractive.
very attractive
Yeah, and you know
in her
that.
form, especially since her clothes are just pieces of clothing that she basically stole from dead
Okay.
adventuring women.
It's an amalgamation of
Yeah,
different
of
like clothing,
races, clothing, and
Yeah.
it's very revealing.
like patchwork kind
Yep.
of.
Except
and-
like elegant, because
It's elegant, like
She's a
patchwork
dragon.
looking.
yep.
I gotta keep it celestial. Gotta keep it looking nice.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it clean.
We had to
So-
make boner checks.
Because
Yeah.
somebody I think jokingly said it or something.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was me who said boner check. Just roll for boner.
Roll for boner,
Roll
and then
for.
we did it, and everybody basically failed
I-
except for Brandon.
Brandon got
heard-
an 18.
Yep.
Soft as a rock. Soft
No,
as a rock.
he used
Yeah.
his axe to hide it.
Yeah. I was like imagining because I think Zion, are you wearing like metal at all?
No.
Oh, I was like, I feel like one of the people who wore metal had like that moment of like Family Guy when they saw the princess for the first time, and you hear like the ding, ding, ding of like the people getting like a boner, and I was like,
No.
nice little sound cue.
But Edwin had to like hide his.
He just
and
straight
did it.
up tried to hide it
Yeah.
as best as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Made
rolled
it
a
super
natural
obvious.
1 on that, so I was full staff,
Yep.
baby.
I like how you went
walking
from
around.
a nat 20 ab check to a nat 1 boner check.
Yep.
That makes some
Oh, the
sense.
mighty
That
have
was
fun.
funny.
Yeah, because you know
And then
it's like a
when-
show of confidence.
Yeah.
Like
And when everybody's like coming in and she's like talking to everybody
ogling.
and
Oh,
just
question.
yeah.
What did she say to me when she got to the beach? Because I don't think I caught it.
Oh.
I said my name. She gave me a
She
look.
like far away. Aren't you far away from home or
yeah,
something
she
like
said,
that?
"Aren't you far away from home?"
And then she whacked your
See,
hand.
I didn't
Yeah. Then she slapped your hand with her tail.
with the tail. So, and I was like,
What'd you think of that?
yeah, because I didn't hear what you said at first.
Ah.
That's why I was like confused. It's like, why would she hit my tail? Oh, hit my hand with a tail. And
Owen has a tail.
yeah, I also have a tail.
What?
And I was like, it makes sense that she'd know who I am.
Yeah.
Because of Shibushai, who's like the big dragon. So
Yeah.
of course, through connection, she probably knows Shibushai, and so she knows about the Sky Ward and stuff. And so she knows about the Valandrian Empirica. Obviously she's not around them, but she knows who they are.
She's
So
in
hearing my name, she's like, that's strange.
She did not react to when I
She
said
didn't?
my name.
So
Which-
she's probably my mom.
Oh my God, Kyle.
Yeah. No, I know who my mom is. All right. I know who my family is.
I know who I am.
But the slapping on the hand with the tail would show that she doesn't like them. It's almost like a sign of disrespect. Like, why would you slap a hand away? Why would you slap a hand away? Well,
She shook your hand first.
she shook it and then slapped it with her tail. All
I
right.
think she was flirting with you.
No fucking way. No.
I think she was.
No. I took it as
Big head nods from Matt.
I took it as
She
Yeah.
flirted with every single person in the party
I took it as
Yeah.
except for Arthur.
I took it as full on.
Oh, well, there's a reason for that.
I took it as full on disrespect.
Nope.
Just because of the fact that the first time we talked, she immediately told me to shut the fuck up. So I was already like, I must be on hot water. So I said my name, and then she's like, she says something that I
You're
couldn't
along-
hear, and then she
oh.
just slaps my hand away with a tail. I'm
Didn't
like,
slap it away.
well,
She slapped your hand
yeah,
with her tail.
yeah. That's what I got because I didn't hear what you said, and the last time she said something to me was
Yeah.
silence.
Well,
so I was like,
just so
she
you
must
know,
hate me.
It wasn't in
Malicious intent.
disrespect.
Yeah,
no.
'cause I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, she just
Dragons
automatically
are fickle like
like
that.
she just automatically hates me. Like, I don't know
Nope.
what's going on.
I'd say the only one she really dislikes is Brandon or Arthur.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause she
because he
hasn't-
tried to pick her up,
Well, yeah, and
which
got,
is like a.
they got punched in the throat for
Yep.
it. But he's
And
a
she
very
power moved, grabbed both of your guys' hand, Edwin and
yeah.
Zion, and just
Yeah.
like marched through. Didn't get into the hot tub with
Did not get-
Sylvana,
No,
but she looked Sylvana up and down.
she definitely
When
was.
she shook her hand, it lingered.
She definitely was interested in a lot of people
Yep.
in that party, except the one who's like, I like to bang things a lot.
Yup.
Which is almost ironic.
If you guys don't take it into like game, I'll tell you why she did it. It's like a show of power.
Oh.
She's like using that because she knows she looks good.
Well, yeah, that
And
makes sense.
It's just like, yeah, I know.
That's why when it's like the
Fucking
boner checks
dog.
and stuff like that, because like for Oberyn at least, it was like, all right, so I went into Grum before she came
But
back.
it is kind of funny because Sarah, I thought, was hilarious when she was going in on Oberyn.
I was like, and that's why I also thought it was like, and that's also what played into like all the stuff later where it was like, does she hate me? Like, I didn't know what you said. So that's why I was like, big virgin energy. All I said was literally what everybody else did. Hi, this is my name. Here is my hand. But I guess when I said it, oh, virgin.
But you resisted the boner check. That's what it was about.
Arthur did too, and he
no,
wasn't.
he didn't. Arthur went for it.
Yeah, but I was just like, what? Okay. And so that was kind of the whole vibe for me during the session. Overall, I thought it was great. It was just there was some moments where I'm like, either I didn't understand something because I couldn't hear it, or I was just like outed. And then I felt like, okay, cool. So to kind of carry on with the rest of this, they
sleep,
snooze. We get out of Grum.
We refreeze, or we take the heart.
We freeze all the stuff in there.
we
Set it
freeze
to
everything.
cold, so that way it's. I thought we did.
No, I said you guys would have.
Oh, we'd have a
Excuse me,
whole
everybody
day
in the podcast, I'm
to refreeze it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we
Make sure
come
you do
out
that,
of
Don't forget.
Grum, and we start to get ready to leave. And at this point, that's when Matt starts to mention the thunder coming in.
Yeah, I don't even say
overtime.
anything. I just start slowly
start
moving
playing.
it in.
And at that, I heard it. I
I
immediately
saw
was
your
like,
perk up. When
I
you
was like,
pressed the,
oh fuck. And Liz was like, why did you say that?
yeah.
and I was
nobody
like-
else had put it together yet.
I knew as soon as I heard thunder, I was like, fuck. And I'm like, I'm at 27 health. If we leave now, Oberyn's going back to the sword space. Like,
he's go.
I'm preparing. Yeah, like I
How did you
heard
not go down from the first?
I got saved. That's how. Like a lot of those times, like when the
Oh no, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
yeah.
Let's not get ahead
So
of ourselves.
we
Sorry.
get ready to leave. She
Yeah.
goes back to being her dragon form, and we start to ascend up the mountain.
Yep. Well,
Um,
we descend down.
Well, we flew up though.
You flew up.
We
and
flew
then-
up out of the mountain
guys
and
start,
started
like-
descending
you start
from the mountain.
flying.
Yeah.
and then
That's when the lightning got more intense, and I knew I was shaking. I was like, we're gonna die.
yeah,
We're gonna
and
die.
even the dragon was kind of like looking around, like, this
Yeah.
doesn't look good.
And everyone was wondering, like, oh, it's just like a storm. Like, why are you so
Yeah.
scared? It's like, well, it's not the storm that I'm worried about. It's its creator that I'm worried about. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
knew. I was like,
Oh man, this is the part that
damn
I kind of
it.
kick myself about because I'm like, no, we're gonna go for this.
we're gonna fight. We're gonna
We're
fight.
gonna fight this,
Yeah.
idiot.
Well,
Don't.
it's. I mean, look. This is how I thought.
Did you
Zion-
guys think the encounter was cool though?
Oh yeah, 100%.
This is what I thought Zion was like this whole session. Super confident. Because I mean, look at Zion.
Not
stuff.
arrogant.
Not arrogant,
No,
but
I'm not arrogant.
he's like confident in himself. Because look at what he did over these past, I guess, the past day. He killed an adult dragon, got a bunch of parts from it to sell, then proceeds to convince the dragon to help him with the beholder, and then he gets to bring it to like the Grum stuff and hang out, and now we're riding it, and now we're flying with it. Zion's on a euphoric high where he's like, everything is going the way I want.
Everything's turning up Zion.
And now this thing is trying to get in my way.
Well,
We're gonna fight this thing. Like
Yeah.
that's just how it has to be.
And then it
And it
dips out of the clouds.
and it was one of the most spectacular things I could have ever
Yeah.
seen. It was a giant thunderbird. Like it was, and
It's
you
a
said
rock,
his
thunder rock.
his feathers were like almost like
It's-
lightning. It was like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
it was
beautiful.
like they were aglow with light, and when it beats its wings, you watch as
Dude.
the slow arc of electricity goes out into the clouds.
He'd like
before-
charge up and then
Well, no. There was no charge up. It just beat its wings, and then it like exploded like out in the back, and it's like slow motion before
Yeah.
the thunderclap hit, and then it was already past you guys, and it did damage to the dragon.
yeah, and then
The
we had
dragon
to.
took a brunt of that.
The dragon took a lot.
Hey, but I fucking healed it.
Yeah.
A lot of people started like healing
And
it.
it like hit through you guys, turned around, and then like arched its wings up, and then the like charge came up before it hit the wings again and shot those electric beams at you guys, the lightning bolts.
Those lightning bolts almost killed me. I was so glad.
Do you want to know the truth?
Mm.
I did less damage on them than I should have.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I had to
because
get.
I was like, I don't want this to one-shot the party.
Yeah. It's a very strong. It's a very strong creature. I was at 20.
It's so cool.
I was at 27
I hope we
hit
get to
points
encounter it again.
going into this fight. So the first beams that come through, we roll to see like if we take half or full damage.
Yep. Make
And-
Constitution saving throws
Yep.
to see if you guys lock up from the electricity.
I took 17 hit points, and that was, I think, halved. So if it hit me for the full damage,
Oh yeah. That
I-
makes sense.
I would have died first round.
Do you guys want to know how much lightning damage I actually rolled?
How much?
I rolled 1 lightning's worth. It shoots 3 on its first opening.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I told you this thing is powerful.
Yeah, and
But
I
I
would
was
have.
looking at you guys and I'm like, I
I-
can't do this to them.
You hit me for more than 27 damage, and I would be down first round, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to get back up.
Yo,
I would have flew off. I would have died. I was super glad I didn't, because I
Yeah.
was like, I
yeah,
get hit.
it was so much fun to make though. I'm sorry guys.
No, it's
No, I totally understood. I mean, I was at a
what
disadvantage.
predator
but that's
challenges an ancient white dragon? A
Something that-
badass.
something that's stronger
Thunder
than
rock,
an
that's
ancient.
what it does.
Yeah, like
It's
the music,
because the dragon was
atmosphere
like,
was really good.
I don't want to be here.
yeah,
It
yeah.
scared the
Sentinel
ancient.
was just kind of like, I'm not so sure about this, guys.
Like, and rocks don't live I don't think as long as ancient white
Normal
dragons
rocks.
do. Yeah, no, yeah, true. Normal birds like them don't usually live that long, but one that's made of that mythological creature level probably has lived
I was imagining
long, if not longer, than this dragon.
Yeah, I was imagining Articuno versus Zapdos. That's
Yeah.
kind of what was in my head.
I assumed
It
that
looks
this
cooler than Zapdos, but
oh, right.
I assumed that this rock was here before the dragons, because it had to have accumulated a lot of strength in order to be like, look, you see me coming, you better just not try.
I was going to make the Thunder Rock a Titan, and then I decided not to.
Oh, what?
Oh, great! He was a
Why?
Titan level being that we could have possibly fought.
What didn't I?
Yeah.
Because the Titans are a really pinnacle part of the story,
Yeah.
and I want this to be something I can have fun with.
Yeah, if this
okay.
was a Titan, we wouldn't have fought it.
Yeah.
We,
yeah, you're
we
right.
would have. I mean, level 6
You
fighting.
could have fought it, maybe not right now.
Yeah, like level
Um,
6 fighting this thing. If it was a Titan, we would
like,
be dead.
The Titans are like, they're really important to the story and what will happen in the future. And
Fair
I was
enough.
like, I like this more than putting it in that role, which is like,
Yeah.
how does that make sense? But you'll understand.
Fair enough. So we're in this
I guess it's
aerial.
because I get more like agency over it.
Yeah.
Mm,
You don't
Right.
you don't have a domino effect with this.
Right.
this is
Whereas
just-
with the Titan you would.
Exactly.
Which then you're like, oh no.
Yep.
because
I
it
was
may
just
or
doing something cool and now I'm like, I
'Cause it
just
may-
hit my own ass.
it may or may not happen, because like the way the Mind Titan worked was that we were led to it, yeah, but a lot of
Mhm.
things could have happened that could have caused things to change.
Exactly.
And you would have to do that with the bird, and then we may have not even been able to see it if things just went a different way. So
Exactly.
I understand, but we're locked in this aerial battle between an ancient white dragon and this cool thunderbird made of lightning, while 6 people are just riding on top in the middle of this thunderstorm,
While Una's being
witnessing
held in a claw.
Yep.
witnessing this kaiju battle around us, and we're like, oh my god, we're gonna die. we're gonna
I
get
didn't think we were gonna die.
Oberyn thought he was gonna die.
And
I was like, oh
And
my
it didn't
God.
happen too much because it would like go further away. But when it does the thunder, like when it beats its wings within 30 feet of you guys, and the thunder hits, every time that's a deafening save.
And I got hit
Save
with
from
it.
deafening.
I got a hit from it too.
Yep, and that stops you guys from being able to heal from some things because Edwin couldn't heal you
Nope.
because healing word has to be able to hear them.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, when it came to my turn,
Yep.
I was deafened too when I did it, because I was like, I feel like if I'm deafened, he'd just scream it as loud as humanly possible because he can't hear himself.
Yep.
So he just screams, "Hey, Cerulean, we got your damn dragon. Can you come help us, please?"
I didn't like how you phrased that.
he was in danger.
Yeah, I know.
all
I know.
right?
I'm just Zion perspective. It's like, okay, it's not her dragon, it's mine.
Yeah,
And it's not even mine. It's a partnership.
It's funny. There's a huge party misconception about why you guys were there to get the dragon in the first place.
It's not
Cerulean
Cerulean.
didn't give a flying if you guys got the dragon or not.
It was Zion's. Yeah.
Well,
It
it was
was
a party.
yeah.
Like
it's a yeah.
You guys were like, well, what if we get like a giant monster to like fight it? I'm like, yeah, that can work. And then you guys went with that.
Yeah.
And then you guys were like, what was Cerulean's idea? And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Cerulean just gave me an idea of this mountain.
She didn't even give you the idea.
I thought she did.
She gave you the idea of the mountain, but not to go get it to fight the beholder.
Yeah, no, yeah. She
it
just
was
said,
hey, go get this beholder from me.
Yeah.
Hey, Zion needs to do this.
no,
Make sure he does that.
I thought Cerulean gave it to me when we were going after the
Way
basilisk.
before.
Yeah, she gave it to me when we were going over basilisk stuff, and she was like, "Hey,
make sure he does this at some point.
make sure
He
this
gets this.
happens." And then when we were talking about big monsters and stuff, I was like,
well, because we're
Cerulean
like a
did mention the
beholder.
dragon, so
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
like,
you need the
beholder,
dragon.
how are we gonna defeat this thing? We have to like study this thing up, and like,
Yeah.
then Cerulean started making stuff for it, and then
we started talking about like things to fight it
way
with.
to attack it and like not kill it, but capture it, and then
And what better way to capture it than in ice?
yep. Well, I don't know if
I
that's
mean,
a good way
if
to
it's
do it,
possible. I mean, you could probably freeze it. That keeps it completely intact. You just have to make sure it stays frozen. That's the only problem.
but yeah,
But as we're fighting this rocket in the sky, a lot of people either go down
yeah,
or almost
Including
get flung off the dragon completely,
yeah.
and
Including the driver.
including the driver. But
She saved it.
Yeah, luckily, the dragon came in clutch in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it took a lot of damage.
but it also
Senra
dealt.
got knocked down to half hit points.
She also did a lot too. Like
Yeah.
she hit her ice breath. The first time I think was half damage.
Yep.
The second one was full damage, and it got
Yep.
hit hard.
For like 96 or something.
It got eviscerated.
Yeah,
And
hard.
that was, and if it wasn't for her, I mean, if we went to go fight this thing ourselves,
That was something funny. Somebody was like, we almost had it. And I was just like,
with the help of a dragon.
I was like, you guys had it almost with the dragon. And I was also taking it easy on you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys are level 6.
Because like if we went to this thing and talk, we would have to talk to it. There would be no way in hell we're gonna fight this thing.
The
You
rock
could
or the
fight it.
dragon?
If we went to go to get the rock first, if we knew about its existence and we went to go talk to it, if we fought that thing, it would be extremely hard. It'd still be possible,
Yeah.
but it'd be like with the way it got damaged, mostly due because of that dragon and nothing else. It's like, oh dear God, if that dragon wasn't there, we would have been killed. I would have died for sure, because I mean, I'm not at my most highest point right now.
Yeah.
So as we're scuffling with this thing, I hit a couple of Eldritch Blasts on as best I can. I figure why not just do Chill Touch instead, because that's necrotic damage, and that looks kind of cool. I don't use that as much anyway.
I spent most of my stuff just in Vicenner's Claw healing it.
Which is
It was-
still,
I
still
thought I
helped.
thought I did that really coolly though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Showing like you're healing the dragon, you're helping the dragon trying to stay like
I love
that,
playing a
that-
sorcerer. I'm just gonna say that now.
It's a
cool
lot
time.
of, it's a good class.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
was good.
Arthur also came in clutch.
Yeah,
I know-
he would catch a
Saving
lot of
people.
people.
I know he had mentioned that it didn't seem like he was doing much, just because it's like, well, I mean, you're a melee character. We're facing off against a flying creature on another
Yeah.
flying creature. But if it wasn't for you, people would have flung off and died. It's a 500-foot drop, and we're hundreds of feet
Yeah,
around.
they drop 500 a second.
Yeah, dead.
Or every 6 seconds.
They
Yeah.
die. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
It's nearly 100 feet a second.
And if it wasn't for Arthur or even Edwin helping me when I almost flew off, like,
It's Cerulean's clutch.
I'd be dead.
Yep. Cerulean
Leofa
did
would probably be dead. Sylvana would be dead. Like, everyone came in clutch when it came to grabbing people, and that's.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like they don't get enough respect for that, because they were like, "Oh, all I did was help people and like save them."
This
Yes, you
was
help
more of
people
a-
and save them.
This was
Like,
more of a helping type battle than
We were not gonna kill that damn thing. That was not the plan. If we did, it would have been like, "Holy shit! Like that's great."
sword space.
Yeah, but there was no way we're
Yeah.
killing this thing.
Well, it would have been really fun if somebody did kill it, because You guys don't know the thing about the creature either.
No.
Do you want to know?
Sure.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm always down to know things.
So I had it. If somebody did kill it, like their eyes would like glow like of the
Oh.
deep's energy, and then it would like spark for a second, and then their eyes would turn yellow, and the creature would explode out of them because it's like a phoenix.
Oh
So
shit.
it'd become like a yellow?
No, you wouldn't. Like as you're
Like the
trying to
rock would become yellow,
No,
essentially.
no. Well, it's already got the lightning
Right.
energy.
Yeah.
So their eyes, whoever like would have killed it, like you're trying to absorb its like life force, right? That's how the deep
Yeah.
works. Well, you try to absorb it, and then it explodes back out of you because
It doesn't do that.
it regenerates. It comes back
Yeah.
with like
Shit.
lightning. Yeah. So it would have like exploded out of somebody and then been right
Oh.
above you guys.
It's a thunder phoenix. Oh.
For like,
God, that's so
would you have taken
cool.
damage if you had?
Well, yeah.
Oh shit.
So killing it wouldn't have mattered.
Not that it wouldn't have mattered, but
Well, I mean, for us, I mean, you get you're like, yeah, I killed it, and it's like, no, I didn't. I also didn't get its power, and it also
Does it come back with
damaged
full
me.
health?
But yeah,
it regenerates.
it came
Oh
back to
my
life.
God.
Yeah,
killing-
it comes
kill-
back to life.
Killing it would probably have just made it
Oh.
like it would have made it harder for us if we did kill it,
Yeah.
because we would be damaged beyond repair, and then it would have exploded out of someone's body on top of us.
I hope you guys figure out how this thing came into being because it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it would be
I
pretty nice to
wanna.
know.
I wanna go toe to toe with it again.
Oh,
Yeah.
when
When
you
we're a
are
little bit stronger, though.
Yeah.
We're a little bit stronger.
So, at the end of it all, we damaged this thing, not to like
Do you know
deadly.
like who made the rocks? Like in D&D
in
lore?
D&D lore.
No, I do not.
Okay.
Nah.
All right.
It's the
I
Lord
think
of
I actually had a
Storms.
misconception of it as well because I think I looked it up and it was like giants or something like that, and that's dumb to me.
It's like giants made birds.
Yeah, I was
What?
like that's stupid. I got rid of that one and I came up with my own.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Yep. Anyway, sorry.
So
But yeah, we get back.
Yeah, so-
Basically, we fly down. I pilot it to, or I get put back on the driver's seat, fly down to the ship. and-
more like
The
we were
driver's seat,
holding on
yeah.
for dear life on like
Yeah.
the spines of a dragon. It seemed like we were just chilling. But
we go to the ship. She puts it back in the
she
water.
does put
right?
it back in place, and she does push us out a little bit toward the toward water so we can actually get into it.
Yep.
And start
But she's
moving.
expended her ability to transform into a person for the day, so
Chances are we're definitely gonna rest for another little bit
as
before
the
we head
giant
out.
chunks of ice are getting thrown into the side of
Yeah,
the beach and
Oh,
everywhere.
God.
and that
Yeah.
was kind of where we ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it
Big
ended.
I mean, this whole mountain was
This
a
whole mini arc is
roller
really
coaster.
Going well.
I mean, like
I,
It was-
I gotta say it was a banger when I gotta hit that music with the thunder and then the bird
dude,
came like screeching up out of the clouds.
yeah,
Ah,
that
so
was really
cool.
nice. There was a lot of
There was also lightning going on outside, like
Yeah.
in the real world.
yeah.
It just added to it. That's what really sold it for me. Which I know you don't really whole lot of say over that. It's just amazing how well you
But
timed. that shit.
sometimes it timed out perfectly.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Ah.
Beautiful.
I
Couldn't have
think-
done it better.
I think this whole mini mountain arc was definitely my
I don't even-
favorite. It was
It's a mini arc for the party.
It's a mini.
It's
yeah,
a pretty big
yeah.
arc
It's a,
for
it's a it's a
Zion.
mini arc mountain. Like this, obviously the big arc is getting the beholder, but there's been mini stuff in it,
Well, this is just part of the arc of getting the beholder.
right?
Yeah.
Because we went from Mind Titan arc to going into the getting beholder arc, and this
Yeah.
is like we have an A and B story where it's like the A story obviously is getting the beholder. The B story is how are we going to figure that out, and how we figured it out is we need to get
Ancient
Zion's
dragon.
fucking dragon, because that's gonna help all of us out, and this is something that he's wanted to do anyway. So it's like two birds with one stone,
Mhm.
It helps the party out. It gives him closure in a sense of something that he could have done he wanted to do a while ago. But now, and now we're going into post
Yep.
session stuff, right? Now that you've gotten the dragon, it's not a permanent,
Gotten.
and it's not a permanent partner either. And now we're off the mountain.
I gotta
What is the future for Una?
Oh, Una?
Yeah, because you technically, quote unquote, you have the dragon, and your plan was once you got the dragon, you'd release it on the mountain.
That's the tricky part is I don't technically have the dragon yet.
That's right.
And I have to release Una in this mountain range.
Yeah.
And
It's a bit
I could
obvious.
do probably should be this mountain range.
It
This
makes- I mean,
area.
Yeah.
I know it's a tough call. It's something I kind of got to think about.
But obviously, the partnership with the dragon isn't set in stone yet.
Right, and that's the tricky part. Is like, okay, now I'm juggling with a secured companion and a not secured companion, but
maybe Vicenra will see that you're fully committing to this partnership by giving away your other companion.
Who knows?
Who knows? Right.
it's a tough call.
So, I guess, Mitch, do you have any big theories as to what's to come in our essentially finale of this semester, like D&D session? Like,
Yeah, the penultimate episode's coming up.
I thought this was usually penultimate episodes are usually the one before the finale, right?
It's the penultimate.
I don't
Right.
know. I feel like the word penultimate's weird. I don't know, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's like this is a really like the scope of this final session is insane.
Yeah.
Level 6 people are riding on an ancient white dragon with the aid of an ancient white dragon are about to go and fight beholders
Yeah.
at level 6. Of course, it won't be.
You guys are gonna get a level up.
Oh, we are.
I mean,
I'm gonna be nice and give you guys a level up.
Aw, thank you.
At the end of the Beholder arc. Ah!
usually it's at the end of arcs. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, I mean,
Nah.
I had to do it to you.
I mean, it's nice to know that we. I mean, usually at the end of arcs, that's when we get level ups. Obviously, when you gave us the deep, it was the choice of, well, if you take the deep, you get 2 level ups. You don't get the deep, you get 1.
Yeah, and I gave Sarah a level up too.
Right, and
Because
to
she-
kind of keep her with
Well,
us.
she had her arc, like
Right.
Which
like one
gave
of
her
arcs.
another. Well,
Right.
no, we all got level ups at that point, didn't we?
No, we've been at
No.
level 6 for a while, and she was at level 5,
She
Two,
got
two.
she got one for
ending the arc.
ending the the one arc.
Yeah,
Um,
and then
Gotcha.
she
the
got
madness
it
in the
again.
mind.
Yep.
arc.
Yeah, and so, yeah, any super big theories? I mean, we're fighting beholders, but I mean, there could be other stuff happening as well. I mean, this is gonna be
You got to capture a Beholder.
right.
Yeah, we can't kill it. We got to capture it,
And
which is interesting.
I'm sure we have a lot of things we can go over before we just jump into this beholder fight. So like,
yeah.
I mean, unless we want to just immediately be like, hey, Cerulean, can you use Zappos to
no,
to
we,
Beholder
no,
Town?
no.
Yeah.
No.
Like, there's, I guess, a couple of theories from me would be, well, obviously the big one, Dragon Mom,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yep.
I don't think that's that.
Look,
All right, we
I
got
just-
5 minutes. Give me all.
okay, let me let you know. All right. So number one, the person in my seat, like area
across from you. Yeah.
across from me, probably. This is a stretch, but it's probably my brother. I know a lot of my theories pertain to my brother
That's
because
true.
I said
a lot
that
of them
like
do.
my patron's my brother, the darkness might be my brother, but this one,
The darkness is the dominus.
the darkness
Oh
is
my
the
God.
dominus. I'm still standing by that one. Or it's one. Okay, I guess it isn't the. It's not as much as it is the dominus, but it's one of us. That's where I'm gonna stand. On it.
Ah.
Like how the champions are also probably us, and we've just been constantly reincarnated
Mm.
by something to keep us alive in case the Titans are ever released, so we can stop them again. But with the person sitting in the chair, I just thought the perception check to see who it is. Yeah.
Yep.
The intelligence check is to not just see who it is,
But to
But to-
know who they are.
but
yeah.
to know who they are, which means it wasn't my patron. And if it was my patron with a hood off, it's like, why did you not stay so long to see me? Like, I wanted to know.
We want to know.
And I know it's not Owen because it's like, well, Owen doesn't do the super mysterious, I'm
Yeah.
here and I'm gone. So
Yep.
it had to have been somebody
All right.
else.
That's one.
That's one.
What's another one? You said mom.
Dragon Mom.
Durgan mom.
Yeah. Vicenra's your mom. That's about it. The
Okay.
Dominus probably went up there at one point, did almost the exact same thing with different context, banged your mom, gave birth to you. That's it.
Okay. So you got a third.
And this one's not even really a theory as it is a question.
Okay.
This last session will mark the end of a character. With that being Sylvana's character.
What?
Possibly. I mean, this is the final session, right? Like, this is it.
For the semester, yeah.
For the semester, but I don't think the player will be back after.
Yeah, I don't know what the situation is. I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, what do we do next? You know, like what's her like future going to be? And that's kind of just a question, as it is not much of a theory, because I have no idea with that. And I think
I feel like the person you're asking doesn't know either.
oh, I'm just throwing it out there. Like that's just a question that I've been thinking about. And it doesn't even have to be answered. It's just one of those like rhetorical, like hypothetical ones where it's like, well, what will happen? And then the fourth is, oh boy, I kind of mentioned it before, but the ice beholder thing where we capture it in ice. It seems like the best. It seems like the best way to do it. I mean, it's going to be extremely hard. I mean, to capture it in ice and keep it there, but it does keep everything intact. It does require us not to fight it, as long as if Una and the dragon both help each other by freezing it, keeping it in, then we just take it in somehow and take it with us and make sure it doesn't melt. And that's all I really got for, at least for me. Like,
yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of theories. You
just kind of go with the flow of things.
Kind of go with the flow.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
Zion's got his stuff he needs to work on.
Yeah. Oh, I guess there is something that I plan on doing.
2 minutes.
And that's with you, Zion.
Oh yeah.
And that's just like talking about bloodline lineage and how you've unlocked your draconic powers.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the next arc that I'm planning on focusing
I was gonna
for
say,
my character.
how much have you talked to Matt about it?
We talked
about it today.
Oh, today?
We went
Oh,
over
cool.
like
Cool,
the whole
cool.
thing about how we want to kind of play it
I
out.
do have a question about that. Does that mean that table that I use for my spell slots and stuff, does he use that same table?
Mine's a little different
It's
because
different.
yeah,
Oh.
it's way more complex because
Yeah.
I essentially have two different kinds of casting: pact magic and spell cast. It's a lot of stuff that we can talk
Yeah.
about after, but yeah.
Yep.
But I think with
Okay.
that being said, I think that's gonna wrap up
That'll
this
wrap
discussion.
it up for all of us.
I
yeah.
cannot wait to see what this final session.
We've been
comes
having
to.
bangers all month.
I
Time
know.
to finish on a
It's
last
banger
hurrah
after banger.
banger.
And banger
I cannot
and
wait.
Boom.
I'm so
Yep,
excited.
this
Yeah.
month, all bangers. And with that, we'll leave it. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the 50/50 Take It or Leave It podcast.